Hello and welcome back everyone, we Weeb Online, and today I'm going to continue the story What If Naruto Was Trained by Kaguya Part 2. If you enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and to watch more videos like this, subscribe to my channel and turn that bell notification on so you never miss an upload. Now wasting no more time, let's begin.
The other girls were worried about Naruto when he woke up. "You took your time to talk to Kaguya, did you?" Satsuki asked. "We have to be careful with those two women because I can tell they are dangerous," Naruto told them as the two capsules opened to reveal Delta and Ada. Naruto is a sadist who can kill anyone he wants, but even he has his limits. These two women are way out of his league, even if he had access to Six Paths mode, so for now he will try to persuade them. Delta and Ada were both about to attack, but Naruto stopped them. Delta yelled at Naruto, "What are you doing in here?" as Ada tried to use her charms on him, but they didn't work at all. This means that he is an Otsutsuki like Ishiki, but he looks too human. Kaguya also changed Naruto and Satsuki's genetic code so that they were pure-blooded Otsutsuki. This is because they gave up being human, and she imprinted them with the clan's will to be loyal. However, this is a slow process because the bodies need to be rearranged slowly, since having half-human children was her downfall before she was sealed, and since they wouldn't be able to do much even with a little bit of human DNA, she's afraid that Naruto and Satsuki will betray her. They got horns, but they hid them so they wouldn't poke people. Their skin and hair are still the same color, and Naruto doesn't have whiskers anymore now that Katsumi is free. "We don't want to hurt you too, we just got lost on our way to a nearby village," he told them. Delta tried to kick him, but he was able to avoid it thanks to his negative emotions sensing, which he learned a long time ago, and has used when he was alone. Then Naruto made truth-seeking orbs to show Delta and Ada that if they mess with him, they will turn to ashes. Both women understood and nodded as he reprogrammed them with the help of Kaguya to make Delta and Ada loyal to Naruto. "Well, it's better to be with Naruto than Jigen. I hope my brother Demon is okay," Ada said, worried about her younger brother who Amato had taken away from her. But she was able to avoid it until Naruto used his adamantine sealing chains, which he learned on his own and taught to his sister Narumi, to hold Delta while her chakra was blocked. Katsumi said to Naruto inside the seal, "You know I hate those chains, but you can use them on me for something more naughty, Naruto-kun." Naruto had to hold back a nosebleed while Delta got weaker, and Ada gave up because she knew she couldn't beat those chains. Satsuki could tell that Naruto was playing around with Delta. Delta said, "I give up," with so little pride that you could hear her make a little moan when some of the chains were in places where the sun doesn't shine on her. This made Ada happy because Delta was too quick to act and had a bad temper like in Uzumaki. Ada said that Naruto could kill them now, but he was programmed to be loyal to him. They also look like they could beat a high-rank Otsutsuki in Taijutsu, like Kaguya told him, since most Otsutsuki don't train at all because they take the lives of others through the 10 tails. Naruto, unlike a certain warhawk, knows when someone has potential and would not try to make them hide their feelings. Because without feelings, there is no free will or caution. "Okay, I'll let you two go. But if you betray us, you won't live much longer," Naruto said as he covered his right arm with lightning chakra and it made bird chirping sounds. This was the Chidori, an assassination technique that Satsuki taught him in the Reikiri and Kirin when he taught her his god split cut. Delta felt small when she realized that a child could be stronger than she is and that he was holding back. She felt like she had to go to him. Women like men who are strong. As they all left the lab and headed for Taki, Satsuki used Jinjutsu on Attacken to lead them to the village. In the meantime, Konoha. After Narumi took care of Kushina, she told Anko that she had left her old family. Anko decided to live with Narumi because she saw potential in Narumi, just like she did before she got the curse mark. She now has a fan named Maru. He tried to hide in a square box like a rock, but it didn't work. She told him, "You can come out, Maru." When Mogi and Udon showed up, he asked, "How did you know it was me?" She told them the same thing her brother Naruto had told her, to be a ninja, you have to be quick, watchful, and never show your full skills. Narumi could feel the kids' chakra and see their elemental affinities. What surprised her the most was that Maru has wind and fire, Mogi has water and earth, and Udon has water and wind. But what surprised her the most was that their affinities are balanced, which means that when they put them together, they made scorch, wood, and ice style. At the same time, Naruto. It was amazing to see a village near a big tree with a waterfall, but it won't last long because they need to find the jinchuriki of Chomai, the happy-go-lucky seven-tailed beast. This is Takigakure, also known as the village hidden behind a waterfall, and it is the only village that has never been attacked, Katsumi said in her human form as everyone looked at the peaceful hidden village. As they walk toward Taki, they hear a girl with green hair screaming and see 5 people who look like Chunin attacking her. Katsumi told Naruto, "Naruto, she is the jinchuriki for the 7 tails. Well, I guess we're helping, so let's get this done." Naruto body flicks behind one of the men and cuts his throat open, killing him instantly. He gets 2 kunai and cuts down 2 more, but one of the Chunin who was attacking the poor girl saw what he was doing. The man said as he got a kunai ready, "What the hell did you do to them? You're helping the demon whore, and for what? Now you have to die." When he says that she is a whore, Naruto's eyes get narrow. "You're the only one dying here." The 2 men rush at Naruto, but he blocks one of their kunai and knocks the other one out of their hands. Naruto grabs the man's wrists, breaks them, and then sticks a kunai into the man's head. The other man is still stunned after seeing his friend get hit in the head with a kunai. Naruto kills the man by stabbing him in the stomach with a kunai and snapping his neck when he hesitates. Naruto looked at the shocked girl and asked her a simple question because he didn't want her to know that he knew she was the jinchuriki for one of the 7 tails. Naruto asked, "What was that about?" Like he didn't know. Naruto said to the girl, "Hey, are you alright?" She asked Naruto, "Why did you save me?" "Because I know what it's like to be hated and left out," he told her. "So, what's your name?" "My name is Fu, and I'm the owner of Lucky 7, Fu told Naruto in a sad voice. Naruto Uzumaki, the former holder of 9, is also known as Katsumi. Naruto said as Katsumi, in her small fox form, waved at Fu from his shoulder. Fu asked him, "How can you take it?" He told her, "Because I have people who care about me and love me for who I am, and they keep me from going crazy." The girls blushed at his answer, and Satsuki gave him a hug. Fu said with sadness, "I guess you're the lucky one. Why don't you come with us?" he asked. She said, "Really?" As they nodded, Fu asked, "What about Taki?" Taki is a Taken and a jinchuriki in a village where people hate her for something she couldn't help. "Let me take care of that. But first let's meet your friend inside you," Naruto said as he and Satsuki fist bumped Fu and closed their eyes. Fu's mindscape. The mindscape was big, and there was a lot of water in it. Chomai was surrounded by rock formations, and his 6 wings and middle tail were sticking out. When Kaguya came into view, Chomai was getting ready to throw a tail beast bomb at her, but she absorbed it. Chomai yelled at her, "How are you even here, you psycho?" This surprised Fu because Chomai is usually happy-go-lucky and rarely talks to her. When Chomai gasped when he saw Katsumi here, Kaguya said, "I've come to make a suggestion." Chomai asked his sister, "Katsumi, why are you even here?" "Simple, I am complete and free from Naruto seal, Kun," she said. She told him before they were captured by Hashirama that she swallowed Jinkaku and Kinkaku when Kumo wanted to capture her for themselves but survived for 2 weeks by eating the flesh of her stomach, gained some of her chakra after she regurgitated them, and took 4 of Hagoromo's treasured tools that he made with the creation of all things and sealed them on their arms before. Because of this, no one can use Tailed Beast chakra without the respective Tailed Beast controlling it or at least most of it, unless the user has the Rinnegan to control the chakra. "So, Kaguya, what is the offer?" he asked, spitting on her name. "Simple," she told him. "I use some of your and your siblings' chakra to bring back the 10 tails so I can be alive and you can be freed. But we need the demonic statue to bring me back to life properly." "What about the people we swore to protect in front of our creator, Hagoromo?" Chomai asked as Naruto spoke up with killing intent. "When has he ever actually helped you guys? Sure, he made you out of the 10 tails and Kaguya's chakra, but has he ever taught you guys the good and the bad? He let you go when people learned how to use chakra, and he left his own mother because a toad told him that she was sacrificing people. Sure, it's bad, but humans by default have power that can be easily corrupted. Now tell me, what is the most important thing?" "Never betray the clan," he said, saddened by the fact that Hagoromo and Hamura had done just that. "Join us, Chomai, and you won't be used again." "This is an Otsutsuki oath, son," Kaguya said with a smile, telling him something Hagoromo had never said before. Naruto and Satsuki learned that the Otsutsuki always put family first, even if they have to do bad things to get what they want. Their loyalty is only to their family. "So you're Naruto and Satsuki, right?" he said and nodded. "Could you please raise your hands if you are in charge?" Naruto and Satsuki did as he said and gave Chomai a fist bump while getting a bit of his chakra. As they looked at Fu, he said, "Think of it as a deal on my part. If he gets out of jail, doesn't that mean I'll die?" Fu said, "Yes, but if you give me some of your blood, I can use Impure World Resurrection to bring you back to life without Chomai's chakra holding you back." He said, "I'm sorry, Chomai. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings." As they left the mindscape, Chomai told him, "None taken." what it said? Ada asked Naruto. Naruto answered, he's a guy, and he agrees, as he helped Fu seal all of her things on a sealing scroll as they walked to the cage office. Later, Naruto was whistling after he convinced Shibuki, the village's Takigakure, that Fu should leave the village for her own happiness. By convinced, he meant that he pointed a spiraling ring at Shibuki's chest, and Shibuki agreed. The scene then cut to dead Takinins hanging upside down under the big tree as blood fell into the lake, turning it red. Before he left, Naruto took Shibuki's valuables, like their forbidden scroll and artifacts, because he wanted to take the hero's water but couldn't because he already had 6-path Sage mode. He took it out of spite, though, because Satsuki used Genjutsu to erase Shibuki's memory of them being in his office, and they left fake scrolls and artifacts using the creation of all things, which Naruto could use. I wish I had the Sharingan like you, Satsuki, Naruto said with a bit of envy because he wasn't very good at Genjutsu. Satsuki kissed him and said, how about this? If we find the masked man, you can steal his Sharingan. He grinned maniacally as they killed more Takinen and hung them upside down from the big tree. She doesn't care that Naruto kills people because his new family already accepts him and she knows he would do anything to protect them, even if they don't admit it. Fire style, Kuroiteyo. Naruto yelled as he split his chakra into fire and threw it at the big tree, making it look like a black sun to show that a new group was here and was bringing fear and death to this village. Naruto smiled as the whites of his eyes turned red and black. Naruto told the group, which included Fu, who was smiling for the first time in years, let's go, girls, and they left Taki with her new friends. Fu turned around and smiled as her eyes turned as red as Chomai's as she flipped off her old village. Konoha, Hokage Tower. As a message hawk from the village of Taki, which is allied with the village of Leaf, left a message saying that several shinobi from Taki had been killed and hung upside down under the big tree. The killer had left a symbol of a black sun, who, even by our standards, would do something so horrible. Minato asked Jiraiya. I don't know Minato, but someone stole their jinchuriki according to my spy network. Maybe it was Kakuzu, Jiraiya said. Minato replied, if it was him, he should have taken their hearts whole. Other than that, when will Arashi and Menma and I go on the 3-year journey? Jiraiya asked the student he used to teach. Minato told Jiraiya, after the Chunin exams, show them the right way, Jiraiya. More specifically, everything you know about them except that they control the chakra of the Kyuubi. Minato said threateningly, if you don't, I'll tell Tsunade what really happened to Nawaki and Dan, while Jiraiya gulped and smiled. Well, you wouldn't want Kushina to know why the Uzumaki clan broke up, would you, my former student? Jiraiya told Minato as he was leaving the office with a smug look on his face. Unbeknownst to them, a small snake had heard their conversation and pooped out. In the meantime, Naruto. As the group got closer to Suna, they saw a bandit camp near the edge of the desert. Naruto wore a mask to hide his identity and Satsuki wore an ornate skull mask that almost covered her mouth, and Fu wore a visor to cover her eyes. How come the two of you can take it? Fu asked, since neither Naruto nor Satsuki were sweating. Naruto told them, excluding Delta and Ada, who knew about Ishiki. The answer is that we are now pure-blooded Otsutsuki. We can handle any weather with ease, and we don't even need to breathe. So, where is Suna's jinchuriki? Haku asked as she drank from a canteen of water she had brought. Shukaku is near. I can tell that he is close to me right here. Katsumi said, it's strange that he's calm, since he always tries to scare his jinchuriki into freeing him. Shukaku, on the other hand, is more proud and quick-tempered than me now that I'm free of my seal, so I don't understand why he's calm. As they got closer to the bandit camp, Naruto cracked his knuckles and neck to start killing until they saw sand floating toward the bandits and rolling around each of them to make balls. A prison made of sand. Someone said that all the deaf bandits were made deaf by having their ears explode so they wouldn't hear the sand moving as they were crushed inside. Some of the bandits had their heads cut off by the sound waves, and one tried to escape but was tied down with a JHY, and the girl mummified the bandit with a flaming orb. Naruto saw 3 girls. One of them had shoulder-length red hair, beautiful eyelashes, a toned body with luscious curves, beautiful seafoam green eyes, a pair of low D-cup breasts, a plump ass, and a sand girt on her back with her headband as a belt. The second one has straight, chin-length brown hair, dark eyes, fair skin, a pair of C-cup breasts, and a fair ass. She was wearing a blue-green blouse that hung off her left shoulder, a white and pink sleeveless shirt underneath, a short yellow scarf tied around her neck, a short black skirt, and a headband on her neck. The third one was strange. She was a fair-skinned girl with high D-cup breasts and a plump ass. Her straight blonde hair reached her thighs and was mostly hidden by the hood of her jacket. She had gray eyes with red markings and wore pink lipstick. Way to spoil the fun, huh? Naruto yelled, which got the attention of the three Suna girls. Gaia told her sand to attack Naruto, but it went back into the gourd. Why did father didn't kill him? Gaia said surprisingly. Father? When did he become a father figure? This surprised Katsumi, because Shukaku was too proud to be a father figure. Yes, I heard it. From Gaia's seal, Shukaku's voice could be heard. Who the hell came up with this sad excuse about killing a seal, taking its liver, dipping it in hot oil, and feeding it to their family? Naruto said that since he was in Uzumaki and sealing was in their blood, it made him mad to see this poor excuse for a seal. Matsuri and Yodo both said, Chiyo. She just did a fancy storage seal and gave all the power to Shukaku, but I don't see her going crazy. Ask Naruto to them. That would be us, Yodo told Naruto, because when we were kids we always saw Gaia alone. Not even with her older siblings, and almost everyone avoided us because they thought we were out of place. 2. Because I have sound style and Matsuri has scorched style like her aunt Pekura. Yodo said this because in Suna, the higher-ups hate her because she could become Kazekage, but they would never choose a woman to lead, even though her aunt. I get it, since jinchuriki and tailed beasts aren't weapons but rather sentient beings with feelings and goals. But the question is why Shukaku isn't running wild right now. Naruto told them, and Gaia was surprised that someone could understand her. Matsuri said, well, that's because we met him inside the seal before. The group seemed trustworthy, especially Naruto. Once more, this surprised Katsumi, because Shukaku would never do that unless he was also trying to scare them. A few years ago, flashback. Little Gaia was alone in the park playing with sand when a boy threw a ball near her, and she caught it to give it to him. But the sand on her gourd reacted violently and scared the boy away, which made Gaia sad. 2 girls came up to her and waved their hands to say hi as Gaia looked around and pointed to herself, and they nodded. Do you want to hang with us? As they got closer, Matsuri asked Gaia, who was standing there and crying, but Gaia's sand didn't move. No, don't come close to me, Gaia yelled as she cried, and the 2 girls stood near her without weapons. There, don't be sad. What are you called? Yodo asked Gaia as he held her close. Gaia, she said back, because being hugged was so strange to her that not even her family had ever hugged her. Within the seal, Shukaku said from inside the seal, I feel like I know that person, as he made Gaia spit out sleeping gas. Outside, the 3 girls fell asleep all of a sudden as Shukaku cackled. He was excited to meet his jailer and her new friends, which he did just to scare them. Where do we stand? Yodo asked as they woke up on water that went on forever and saw little rock peaks bigger than the girls around a big raccoon dog made of sand and strange marks. Finally my jailer is awoken, Shukaku said to Gaia. Yodo had heard her mother tell stories about her great-grandfather Bunpuku, so she knew who Shukaku was. You're Shukaku the raccoon with one tail, Yodo said, pointing at Shukaku, who was upset about being called a raccoon and fell on his face. You have the nerve to call me a raccoon. I am a tanuki, you sexy monkey. He yelled and tried to attack Yodo, but there was a huge flaming orb in front of them, and Matsuri was in charge of it. One more step, and you'll be as clear as glass. Got it, Matsuri told him in a grown-up voice, while Shukaku huffed and went back to the rock formation. Being in crystal is like being the 10 tails again, even if he can be dead for a year. You humans are all the same because you use your powers to kill each other. That's what Rito did to me when I just wanted to be alone. He put me in a teapot and sealed it with platinum sand. He yelled when Gaia started crying again. Then he looked at Yodo again, but not like a pervert. He looked at him closely as he laughed again. He told Yodo, I can't believe that the old man really has a child. Me? Yodo asked. Yes, you, because I can smell a bit of Bunpuku in you. Shukaku said that the jinchuriki has to be from the same family as the cage or a loyal friend, as Bunpuku was the father of Rito, which he disowned him for being his jinchuriki and erased all records of their relation, but tailed beasts always remember. That technically makes us family, Gaia, Yodo said as she smiled at her. Shukaku looked at his hands, which had the characters for accept and heart written on the palms, and then he looked back at the 3 girls. Shukaku told himself, I won't mess this up. The flashback is over, so you guys are lucky to have each other, he told Satsuki, Katsumi, Haku, Delta, Ada, and Fu as he smiled and looked at them. Gaia even told them about how her uncle killed himself because Rasa told him to when he tried to separate her from her 2 best friends. Gaia almost lost it and let Shukaku take control, but he didn't. On that day, they waited for the right time to kill Rasa and Chiyo, especially Chiyo for making a mess of a seal. Yodo tried to fix her friend's seal, but she heard from Gaia's older sister that didn't use him. Matsuri said, if you guys need a place to stay, you can come with us to Suna, and Naruto agreed. Suna Kazekige's office. We see the 4th Kazekige, Rasa Sabaku, who uses gold dust, talking with the missing nin created by a certain warhawk, Petamaru, Orochimaru, and his boy toy, right-hand man, Kabuto Yakashi, as they were planning to invade the Leaf during the Chunin exams with Gaia as their secret weapon in the third round of the exams. Naruto was hovering around them, but they didn't know it. He heard what they were saying and smiled evilly as his eyes turned permanently green with black glare as he finally gave into his darkness. Naruto smiled as he told his group, now called Black Sun with Gaia, Matsuri, and Yodo joining, about Orochimaru's plan to attack Konoha. When Satsuki saw Orochimaru's green eyes, she felt cold and then aroused, while Kaguya was seen masturbating again inside Naruto's old seal as she felt Naruto's true power. Fucking yes, I need him inside right now. I need that hard rod right away for all my holes, she yelled as she sat on the water with a dildo on her pussy and one hand on her breast to climax. Gaia's seal. As he listened to Naruto and the girls talking, Shukaku did the finger pyramid of evil contemplation. Great, this might be the best way to get back at Rasa and Chio. Shukaku thought to himself from inside the seal, maybe I don't need to control Gaia again. She can use my chakra with ease now, so I won't hold her, and she can finally sleep peacefully from now on. Beyond the seal, Gaia's eyes changed for a moment to look like Shukaku's. Konoha. Narumi woke up because she now lives with Anko, who has been more of a mother to her than Kushina. Anko gave her the option to become a summoner of snakes because Narumi had a bad feeling about the toads and Jiraiya. They went to the Forest of Death, where Narumi summoned the white snake sage on her first try. This impressed both Hakuja and Ayada, who saw that Narumi had the potential. Anko said to Narumi, who was now wearing knee-high kunoichi boots, a dark orange thigh-length skirt with a slit on the right side, a tight black short-sleeved shirt that showed her midriff, an open short dark orange jacket with the Uzumaki swirl on the back in red, and black fingerless gloves. Not even Orochimaru has been able to summon the white snake sage Hakuja on the first try. You must. Narumi hugged Anko and said, thanks, Anko-chan. Anko blushed, but since no one else was around, she hugged Narumi back. Suna, as Team Gaia with their sensei Baki and a new team called Team Otsutsuki because their name has been forgotten until now, made up of Naruto as Sakumo, Satsuki as Orina, and Katsumi in her human form, along with their sensei Delta, whose taijutsu is far better than Might Die and Might Guys when they use the 8 gates. Rasa wanted them to join the village, but Naruto, as they make their way to Konoha through the desert. So then, what's the plan? Shukaku asked, who is on Gaia's shoulder. He was finally outside the seal that Naruto had replaced with a new one, which he calls the Toriai seal. This means that Gaia can use Shukaku's chakra without going crazy, and Shukaku can come and go as he pleases. Naruto took a bit of Gaia's blood to revive her at a later time, and Shukaku agreed with Kaguya's plan. Satsuki, Katsumi, and I go to Konoha as a nomadic team to take part in the exams up to the second round. We won't take part in the third round because we need to steal their forbidden scrolls and artifacts and replace them with fakes, since everyone in the village will be focused on the exams. Since this time all 4 major hidden villages will be taking part, Naruto said, explaining the plan. Did you say 5? Katsumi gave Matsuri a facepalm and told her to shut up so Baki wouldn't hear about their plan to destroy Suna. Naruto had made bomb seals on important places in Suna with Katsumi and Yodo, but they only went off when certain things happened. For example, Team Gaia and Team Otsutsuki had to leave Suna for the exams after replacing their forbidden scrolls and artifacts with fakes, and Temari. Shukaku wanted to kill Rasa and Chio himself with his bare sandy hands, but he was okay with just knowing that they would be killed and that the hidden village would be destroyed. Especially when Naruto put a very specific type of poison on Rasa's drink during the offering to join the village. Naruto made a trigger event that when is met the victim dies instantly as the poison disappears from the victim's system after they die, so they can't track it. That not even poison experts can't figure out the type of poison because it wasn't poison at all. Naruto's group was also accompanied by Team Gaia, so they wouldn't do anything funny once they were out of the village. He asked Gaia and her team to help him destroy the shinobi system, sparing Temari, Kenkuro, and Pakuro for their sake. They agreed, since he sees them for who they are and won't use them as tools. Rasa and Orochimaru were ahead of the teams, so Naruto turned around to look at Gaia. Hey Gaia, do you like fireworks? Naruto says. Yes, but why? She queried. 3, 2, 1, he said, and right on cue, a huge mushroom cloud appeared from where Suna was. It destroyed everything and everyone in the village, including children and the elderly. It's lovely. There are no words for how perfect this is. Thank you, Katsumi, Shukaku said as he hugged his sister and cried tears of happiness. Gaia was putting her arms around Naruto's chest, and she could feel that his penis was getting hard. She whispers to Naruto, who has a nosebleed, "When we get to the hotel, I'll give you my virginity," as she puts his hand on her chest so he can feel her heartbeat. "Well, I'll be the first girl to have her V-card taken," Satsuki said with envy. Katsumi said, "Now, girls, you don't have to fight because he can make shadow clones for all of us when we have time." While Satsuki and Gaia pouted, while Rasa and Orochimaru were busy. Rasa and Orochimaru stopped when the shockwave hit. "What the hell went wrong? We have to turn around," Rasa shouted angrily to his guards as Orochimaru decided to kill him. Suddenly, Rasa fell down dead, which surprised Orochimaru because someone was already one step ahead of him. "Thank you to whoever did that, and don't worry, Rasa. I'll use your troops against Konoha," he said to himself. "I hope Gaia and her team show up after they finish this escort," as he put a seal on the Rasa's body and sent the guards on their way to Konoha. Konoha. The teams made it to Konoha at last. "So this is where you and Satsuki lived, Naruto?" Ada asked both of them, who were trying to keep their tempers in check, not to destroy it right now, while Naruto's stomach grumbled. "Let's eat at Ikaraku ramen first, since I'm hungry for ramen and I hear the girls' stomachs grumbling," Naruto said. "And I'm not the only one," he said as they blushed and went to buy ramen, too. Ikaraku ramen. Since the Kyuubi attack was mostly minor, they turned the stand into a restaurant, and Naruto and his friends went there as normal customers. Naruto always went there to eat after the villagers beat him up, because ramen helped him calm down. As I.M. looked at the group, she had been a jonin before she quit and went to work at her father's restaurant because she had PTSD from seeing people die. She didn't know that she was keeping Naruto safe from harm, and when she heard that he and Satsuki had died on their first mission, she felt so bad that she wanted to kill herself to be with him. But Tuchai and her mother told her that Naruto wouldn't want her to do this. So "What would you like to eat?" She didn't know it was Naruto, so she asked who it was. When other people saw him, she blushed, and they went back to eating their ramen. "Do you want tables or chairs?" he asked I.M. 11 stools for my group, please," he said, and she nodded. He paid for the ramen with Juria's credit card when they ran into him, and he changed his books to Boy Love Boy without even checking. As they ate their ramen, Naruto's mask had a function that let him eat without taking it off. As they did this, they saw Naruto and Satsuki's former academy teacher Iruka. Naruto hissed at Iruka's presence because he always kicked Naruto out of class when he only asked a simple question, leaving him outside until Satsuki took the job to tutor Naruto. He also saw his sister Narumi with Iruka started to flirt with I.M., but she always turned him down because she knows Naruto is still alive somewhere. Iruka didn't notice that she had already talked to him and was now staring at him as if he was trying to melt his brain. "Don't make me kick you out, Iruka," Tuchai said to Iruka. "One more burst and I'll kick you out of the restaurant." I.M. said, "I just know that Naruto and Satsuki are still alive because I can feel it." I.M. "Just give up. Naruto and Satsuki have been dead for months, and there was proof of that." "Wait, don't tell me you loved that spoiled brat who always got bad grades, or are you going crazy? You were 6 years older than him," Iruka said. This was the last thing Tuchai could take, since he thought of Naruto as his son and a member of his family. As the team from Iwa had had enough of Iruka ruining their meals and the team from Kumo telling him to shut up, something unexpected happened. "Come here," a woman yelled, and Narumi grabbed Iruka with her sealing chains and threw him out of the restaurant. Naruto told Haku, "That's my sister," and he was proud of her. 3 people walked into the restaurant, and Naruto and Satsuki groaned when Naruto knew who they were. Shinacha is Satsuki's younger half-brother from an affair between her father, Fugaku, and a civilian woman. He has curly black hair and gray-blue eyes, and his hairstyle looks like seaweed. He wears a white and black jacket with the Uchiha clan symbol on it, a black shirt, and blue jeans. His headband is on his forehead. One is a curvy girl with hip-length peach-pink hair and bangs that are swept to the left. She has green eyes, and many people fall in love with her right away or soon after meeting her. She also has large breasts and a bust. She wears a white dress with blue ends around the skirt that show her cleavage, a blue vest with the same design as her skirt, and brown boots with heels that go up to her legs. The other girl, Ami, had purple hair cut in an asymmetrical style and brown eyes. She wore a striped blouse that was tied at her neck and waist over a dark blue dress with a marking on the left sleeve but not on the right. She wore dark pants and sandals and a blue headband around her neck. Shin said arrogantly to Tuchai, "The great Uchiha has come to this restaurant and wants to be served ramen." Tuchai frowned. "Who are they?" Matsuri asked Satsuki, who was angry behind her mask. "That's my half-brother Shin Uchiha," Satsuki said with poison in her voice as Naruto comforted her. She hates Shin more than Itachi right now. Shin moves closer to Naruto's group as he looks at Gaia while Shukaku growls at him. Would you date an elite uchiha? Gaia, he told her. Pass, she told him as he did the same thing to Matsuri and burned a bit of his seaweed-like hair as he took it off. He did the same thing to Yodo, who used sound style. Discord screech to make a powerful but controlled scream that threw Shin and Ami out of the restaurant. While Flare just looked at Naruto and licked her lips sensuously. Do you look familiar to me? Like you know me? Flare asked Naruto, who was sweating bullets behind his mask because he doesn't want anyone to know that he and Satsuki faked their deaths as Shukaku did something undignified and impossible. He peed on Flare's boots. Oh man, I need to wash them now. Flare left, winking at Naruto as she went. Eventually, she would find out who he was. Thanks for the saving, Naruto bro. Katsumi thanked Shukaku. He said, don't worry about it. Katsumi whispered in Naruto's ear. I also feel like Matatabi and Son Goku are here in this restaurant, as Naruto was pointing at two women. The first one has short, black hair and eyes that stand out because her eyelashes curl up at the corners. She wears the standard Iwanin outfit, which is a red uniform with the right sleeve missing and a lapel over the right leg, a brown Iwagakure flak jacket, fishnet tights with a skirt over them, and regular shinobi sandals and gloves. This is Kuretsuchi Kamizuru, the granddaughter of Onoki Kam. The other woman had long, straight, blonde hair that was tied back with tight bandages. She had dark eyes and wore red lipstick. She wore a short-sleeved black and purple blouse, black pants with a cloud-like pattern on them, purple fingerless gloves, and a chain of blue beads around her left hand. She also wore the standard Kumagakure forehead protector, sandals, and a kunai holster that was strapped to her right thigh. In other parts of Konoha, Jiraiya threw the Boy Love Boy book by accident as he was reading it, and Kakashi was walking by at the time. When Kakashi saw Might Guy standing next to him, he said, I can't believe Jiraiya made this book so quickly. Hello, my young competitor. What do you like to read? Guy asked Kakashi. After 1 hour, as they were both done reading the book. My eyes, my eyes. Guy took the book to show it to Rock Lee while shouting youth. Kakashi screamed like a little girl, and the book slipped out of Guy's hands. Danzo sees the book, picks it up, and opens it. He got a nosebleed and went to his root HQ to read the book in peace. On the way, Danzo was laughing because everyone thought he was using a jinjutsu when they saw him showing emotion. Katsumi felt something familiar under Konoha, but she couldn't figure out exactly what it was. It wasn't easy walking without Naruto in the same village where I'd been sealed for more than 50 years, ever since Hashirama put her to sleep after he freed her from Madara's control, and then sealed her inside of Maida, who would talk to her about love but never look me in the eye or treat her like a decent person, and then poison Kushina's mind to make her think I was the bad guy. They are such pure and innocent children. They think that being a ninja means being a hero to the village and saving princesses. All they will wait for is death. Their team could be killed or raped by one another. You know what? Kaguya was right. Hagoromo and Himura never deserved their love for what they did to their own family. This is why we will destroy the shinobi system and kill those who oppose our ideals no matter what. This is, in the meantime with Naruto. Naruto and the girls, except for Katsumi, were at an expensive hotel again, paying for it with Jiraiya's credit card. Despite being a Sannin, he doesn't check to see if something is missing until much later. As he paid the manager, he changed into Jiraiya. Since Kaguya turned Naruto and Satsuki into pure-blooded Otsutsuki, his transformations have become more realistic. However, now that he has perfected chakra control, he can create powerful illusions that can affect others. Unlike Jinjutsu, these illusions can't be seen or broken until Naruto does, and they even affect cameras. Only Naruto's girls know that it is actually him. Since it was time for Naruto and Satsuki to lose their virginity, the other girls were shocked, except Satsuki, to see Naruto's huge penis until Gaia asked. She blushed and asked, will it hurt? As Satsuki put it on her pussy while moaning. It will at first, but then it will be worth it. And since you aren't a jinchuriki and Shukaku, and Chomai are freed, neither you nor Fu will die from extraction. Even Delta and Ada, who are adults, were surprised by how big it was. Naruto creates seal-less wood clones, and each one makes chakra chains. Unlike the golden-colored ones, these ones were eerily black and green, with water and lightning on the tips. It was a big deal, because no Uzumaki has ever added an affinity to the sealing chains because they were almost wiped out by 5 major villages. Kaguya told him and Satsuki that. As the girls were begging for more fucking, It was causing small earthquakes and people could hear their sighs of pleasure. At the same time, Kuretsuchi was masturbating in her hotel room while Anoki was complaining about his back again on the floor. Matatabi was meowing at Yujiro to find the lucky guy for Yujiro to have kittens of herself while said woman was blushing. Shukaku and Chomai fist bumped each other because their unruly eye was hitting trees with his lightning cloak. B was trying to write more rhymes. Shino's bugs were scared. Tsunade was drinking sake alone while crying. Danzo was reading Boy Love Boy and laughing. Kakashi was playing with his kunai at home. Manda was saying nice. Gamamaru was coughing on opium. And two girls in black cloaks with red clouds were making out somewhere else. Somewhere under Kon. Inside Naruto, Kaguya is banging on the cage to get out and complaining that the carrot isn't working at all. For Kami's sake, the carrot is not helping, she shouted in the cage. Shinigami looking in a mirror at Naruto's activity with the girls. The Shinigami thought, I wonder if my dear Frigga will be interested since my older brother can't satisfy her. Gaia, Matsuri, Yodo, and Fu were excited to go to the hot springs because there weren't any in Suna, and Fu couldn't even get into the village in Taki. They asked Naruto if he wanted to come with them, but he said he wanted to walk around first. As he was leaving, he ran into Tsume and Hana, who were out doing errands. They apologized to Jiraiya and asked if he could visit their compound, to which he agreed. They just say that they went to Nirvana. A little bit later, Kiba went home with Akamaru when he saw Lord Jiraiya coming out of his house smelling like he had sex. See you later, ladies. I had an appointment at the hot springs, Jiraiya, he said to the two Inuzuka women who were smiling and limping. See you later, master, they both said to him as he got closer to the house, but his mom stopped him. What in the hell, mom? He screamed at her. You watch what you say, pup. Tsume told him this as he gave him bathing supplies and her and Hana's extra clothes to take to the hot springs. Come on, mom, I'm so tired. And that's only about 6 miles away, Kiba said as Tsume glared at him. Stop complaining, pup, and go. Hana told him as Tsume gave him more money for food. I'm not cooking, so get moving or let the dogs out, she told him. Yes, mom. Let's go. Akamaru. Kiba told me that I should go to the hot springs. As soon as Kiba was out of sight, Tsume closed the door as both women passed out, poop dripping from their pusses and asses. Where the hot springs are. As Katsumi, who had just come back, tested the water, Fu and Gaia were happy because they had never been in a hot springs before. Katsumi had been trapped inside Mito and Kushina before, but this time she is enjoying it on her own. Even Shukaku was wearing a swimsuit so he wouldn't make the water dirty with his body. Now this is relaxing, Gaia said for the first time as Shukaku taught her how to swim. In Suna, water was only used for drinking, bathing, and washing. Yodo was touching Haku's breasts and kissing her when he said, you know, joining you guys was the best thing that ever happened to all of us. It was calm until Jiraiya, Kiba, Aruka, Shin, Menma, Arashi, Kakashi, Asuma, and, surprisingly, Neji, who were all looking at the girls, made them feel lust. How did you get here quickly after seeing my mom and sister? Kiba asked Jiraiya, who was trying to do peeking. I mean research for his Make-Out Paradise books. Huh? Jiraiya told him this as Katsumi whispered the girls her plan and they nodded. Hey, girls, let's go to the Blue Oyster, which just opened this week and has the best salad bar in all of Konoha. After we're done with the bath, Katsumi said. The perverts heard her, and they left as if they were using the flying thunder god to get to the Blue Oyster. Hook, line, and sinker. They always fell for it. Katsumi said this as the girls, Shukaku, and Chomai laughed. They all know that men will always want to date girls unless they are gay, and they will be in for a huge surprise when they get there. The Blue Oyster is a story about a ship that sinks. Wait a minute, this isn't a salad bar, is it? This is a gay bar, Asuma said. I see bearded men wearing leather and uniforms. One man saw Kiba and took him to a dance. Thank Kami I didn't bring Akamaru here, Kiba said as the man he was dancing with started getting a little too close to him. One person touched Neji's face as if it were porcelain, while a man wearing a leather collar and drag clothes licked his lips and Neji shook. I think it's fate that I dance with you, isn't it? Neji said as he started to dance with the man. Jiraiya and Kakashi were trying to leave when a seal was put up outside. Katsumi, who put the seal up, was grinning as she left, blending into the ground with Mayfly, since the tailed beasts used to be the 10 tails. Kaguya woke up Shukaku, Chomai, and Katsumi's wood style, but her other siblings haven't realized it yet. Back to Jiraiya, Aruka, and Kakashi saying to be gentle with them. The less said about Shin and the fact that he woke up his Manjikayu Sharingan in the club, which involved a threesome, the better. The next day, Konoha's cemetery. Naruto and Satsuki were there to put flowers on Mikoto's grave. Naruto said that she was the best mother he ever had before Itachi killed her. Then they went to the graves of Yugao, who died on a mission outside the village, Izumi, who was like a sister to Satsuki, and Rin, who died saving the village from Isabu. They were angry that Kakashi took the flowers, but they noticed that the flowers that Kakashi leaves are gone again. Satsuki, he was here, he told her. Who? She asked him as he was taking in his surroundings if he was still hiding here, but he wasn't. Albedo, he said with anger to the person who let Katsumi out of Kushina when he was born. Don't worry, Naruto. Let him live for now, and when the time is right, we'll take everything from him, Satsuki told him. They saw their friend Yakumo crying by her parents' grave and saying she was sorry for killing them. As Satsuki got closer to Yakumo, they used a powerful jinjutsu to hide themselves. Yakumo sensed the jinjutsu and thought it was her clan trying to kill her again, so she changed into a being with fair skin, horns of a ram, and small fangs that are getting smaller, almost to the point where they barely stick out from under her upper lip. Her eyes, which used to look like cats, now have a pinkish color. Who are you two before I kill you both with my lifelike jinjutsu? She said it in a demonic voice. Whoa, calm down, Ido. We don't mean to hurt you or Yakumo, Naruto told her as Ido recognized the heavenly voice that always calmed him down. Naruto, Satsuki, I thought you two were dead, Ido said as she changed back to Yakumo. What happened with you two? She asked them what they were doing, and they told her that their goal was to destroy the shinobi system. Do you know how much we've missed our first real friends? Yakumo yelled at them until she kissed Naruto and Satsuki. Yakumo was getting horny. Naruto said, let's go to a training ground. And they went through the shadows to a training ground that was empty. They started making out more roughly as Naruto made a shadow clone for Yakumo, Ido so he could fuck her hard, and then made two more so he could fuck their asses while the girls were kissing each other. Flare was watching the scene while he was jerking off. I knew Naruto and Satsuki were alive, she said as she went back into the darkness of the forest until Naruto and the clones felt a shiver. Why did you stop? Yakumo asked but resumed harder. I felt like I have a stalker, Naruto said in an ominous way. Said the one who made an orgy yesterday, Satsuki said between her pants. So, that was you guys, Yakumo said while they looked shy. Yakumo said, damn, you must have unlimited stamina to do that, you lucky scumbag. With Narumi at Hokage Tower, Narumi was furious when she went with Anko to see Minato and Kushina, who showed them a document that said Narumi would marry Shin Uchiha when she turned 18. This made Narumi even angrier, and her hair floated like 9 tails but turned into 9 black mambas that hissed at Minato and Kushina. How could you do that to me? Narumi yelled angrily at them and saw Anko using her cursed marks while Minato and Kushina told Narumi to stop talking nonsense and come back to them. Sorry, but you signed the adoption papers for Anko Mitarashi that I stole from your office while you were working. This means that you no longer have the right to do so, since you both signed it without using Genjutsu, and my full name is now Narumi Uzumaki Mitarashi. FYI, Konohamaru is my boyfriend. Narumi said this as she and Anko left, showing the adoption papers signed by Minato and Kushina. At the same time, one of Narumi's snake hairs blew a raspberry at them and flipped them off. First part of Chunin exams. As Team Gaia and Team Otsutsuki were done and ready to take the exam, they waited for the show to start. Where the fuck are you? I'll kill Shin if I miss my Naruto-kun time. And I'll kill Ami if she keeps talking about Shin. Flare said this while waiting for the last loyal Uchiha. As Team 10 was already there, the only person they saw was Sakura. They didn't see Menma, Arashi, or Kakashi because they were closing the door for those who were late. Jiraiya tells Kakashi to take the Genins to the exam and not talk about yesterday. I will tell Minato that we were training and fought so many missing nins that we lost time. In the background, Kabuto was worried that the target wasn't here on time for his daddy's plan. Damn your head, what happened to you? Ino asked Sakura. Fuck off, Ino pig, Sakura told her, until Lee introduced himself to her and blew kisses at her, which she dodged while Tenten and Neji had clouds above their heads. They saw a floor on the second floor that said 301. But the first part of the test was on the 3rd floor, so the other teams just stood there. Shin, Menma, and Arashi were about to say that the door could be dropped with a simple genjutsu. But then Shukaku threw sand in their faces and Naruto made small roots appear to stop Menma and Arashi from using their 9 tails chakra, which they still had even though they didn't have Katsumi's soul to control it. Naruto and Satsuki both rolled their eyes behind their masks as they left for the 3rd floor and said, idiots. As the teams sat in different places, Team Gaia and Team Otsutsuki sat back and relaxed. Naruto started his plan just as the proctor introduced himself as Ibiki Morino, head of the T&I department and the toughest person Konoha has ever made. Not even Kasama could get information out of him, and Yamanaka's mind jutsu didn't work on him either. He was about to explain the rule when Nanbu brought him a scroll telling him to open. As he read it, he frowned and told his men to open the door so Team 5 and Team 7 could take the test. As everyone except Team Naruto and Otsutsuki waited for the right time, Naruto went up front toward Ibiki to give him the answers. Ibiki laughed at Naruto until Naruto waved his hand at him. "You will tell me the answers," Naruto said as Ibiki looked at him. Ibiki said, "I'll give you the answers right now." Naruto gave Ibiki the answer sheet because he wanted to mess with Ibiki. "What's your secret, Ibiki?" Ibiki said out loud, "I like to dress up as drag queens and dance my booty off at the Blue Oyster Bar. My drag queen name is Ladybug." Everyone looked at him dumbfounded, but Menma, Arashi, Shin, Kiba, and especially Neji were the worst. Neji used his Byakugan on Ibiki, who was still wearing the leather collar from the bar, and Kiba smelled sex from the hidden Chunin who were present and, "Oh my kami, they're all here," Kiba screamed as Neji and Shin paled and fell to the floor, holding each other and crying. Kiba thought it was a jinjutsu, but it wasn't. "It was fate that I danced with him," said Neji, who was next to Kuretsuchi as Son Goku tried to throw up inside the seal. Naruto freezes time for a moment to make copies of the answer sheet for Satsuki, Katsumi, Gaia, Matsuri, Yodo, and Shadow clones. He gives them the papers as he unfreezes time and tells Ibiki that he won't remember what he said. Ibiki just nods. Ibiki asked, "What happened?" Because most of the genins were shaking as Team Gaia and Team Otsutsuki answered their 9 questions perfectly. Now for the last question, since it will decide whether or not you can go on. He told them as a few teams decided to quit and he congratulated the ones that stayed on for passing the first part. Shin yelled, "That's an outrage for the last Uchiha." "Yeah, and I'm the Sage of 6 Paths, so get out." Ibiki yelled at Shin. Suddenly, Anko walked in through the window with a sign that said she was the second proctor of the exam. "This is the one, sexy, sadistic, and single Anko Mitarashi," Anko said to introduce herself. "You are early," Ibiki told her. "Whatever you say, Ladybug," Anko said, ignoring him. This made Kiba and Neji sick, so they ran to the bathroom to throw up. Lee tilted his head, and Tenten shrugged at him. Anko saw Naruto and stared at him like she knew him. "Why we didn't see Asuma-sensei today?" Shikamaru asked Kiba. "He was giving us advice about how to use wind style in our attacks," Kiba answered quickly. "Troublesome," Shikamaru said as Ina was fuming and Choji was eating a bag of chips. Jiraiya's home. We see one of the fetish trio, Jiraiya, the imperfect toad sage, Konoha's reliable spy, a proficient seal master, the author of Make Out Paradise, a dead last, a moocher, and a super pervert waking up. Because of what happened at the Blue Oyster Bar, he was taking showers and brushing his teeth more often when he got up in the morning. Hate mail, bills, 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 the police. What the fuck? He screamed as he got more reports that people heard him having an orgy. One of the people who heard him was the youngest daughter of the Kazekage and granddaughter of the Tsuchikage. Jiraiya yelled, "Oh hell no," after he read the mail. He was running towards the Hokage's house with his towel still on him, and people were covering their children's eyes. Hokage's home. Minato and Kushina weren't happy at all. With Naruto dead, there was a rift in the family, so Narumi disowned them, and Menma and Arashi are becoming too proud to be heroes of Konoha. "Calm down, Kushina," Minato told her, but he got even more upset. "Calm down. How can I calm down when my own daughter disowned us, Minato? Don't you remember that our clan's creed is family above all, like Narumi said?" Kushina was arguing with Minato until he snapped his fingers and Kushina stopped talking. "Yes, master," Kushina says with no emotion as Minato cups her chin and rubs his hand on her face. "It's too bad that the real Kushina couldn't be controlled anymore. The last time I tried to put the seals on you, they burned off." "Kushina, how is Mito doing?" Minato asked her. Subject: Mito is ahead of schedule. Her life signs are great, and her chakra is under perfect control. "She is due in 6 months, Kushina told him with a blank face. "Great. With my blood and the DNA of the Uzumaki and Uchiha, we can make the perfect being that can beat even the Sage of 6 Paths. So screw the daimyos, cages, and the council, because there can only be one ruler of all the elemental nations, and that ruler will be me." "Ha, Minato said as he briefly looked like Tabarama Senju. On the other side of the room, Black Zetsu heard everything as he went to tell his mother. The entrance to the Forest of Death. As those teams that passed the first test. We are now outside of Training Area 44, also known as the Forest of Death, which Hashirama made with his wood style when Madara left the village and he was angry. As anything and everything inside you can and will kill you. Many teams are there, even from small villages like Aim and Kyuso and big ones like Yujito's team. Team 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 2 teams from Odo. Team Otsutsuki has seen Kuretsuchi's team. Kuretsuchi and Son Goku waved at Naruto, who waved back. Naruto was with her friends, including Toph, who is the current daimyo's daughter and was born blind. She was taught Earth style by the also blind Bajimol's summons, but Naruto cured her blindness and made her visor so she could close her eyes when she needed to improve her other senses. And the second is Azula, an orphan from Kumo who ended up in Iwa years ago. She is very good at both fire style and lightning style, and she even learned how to wear the lightning cloak, but in white. She is so cruel that she doesn't even fear death. In fact, she became Kuretsuchi's bodyguard and always demands perfection. Flashback. On a training ground, Kuretsuchi was training alone, as she usually did, with wooden dummies that had Minato's face on them. She was throwing dust-made kunais as she tried to perfect the second Tsuchikige's dust style to make it small, quick, and less draining on her chakra. Then she heard someone watching her, so she spit lava at the person as he flashed next to her, which scared her. I had no idea that Onoki's granddaughter knew dust style and fission jutsu, and could still use the difficult dust style of the non-person Mu, Naruto said, surprising Kuretsuchi. How did you know that I'm half of myself? She asked him. I'm a sensor who can feel people's emotions and find out information about them just by looking at their chakra, he told her. Don't fight with him, Kuro, because he uses wood style and can and will stop my chakra from working, Son Goku told her from his seal, which made her nervous as she made a dust kunai, and he touched it and absorbed it with his hand. Understood, Goku, Kuretsuchi told Son Goku, who wasn't even mad at her, that his nickname is better than just Son. You're a jinchuriki like I was, but why are you one? He asked her. Sorry to be rude, but can I ask your name and how you got wood style? She asked. Okay, my name is Sakumo, and as a sign of your trust, I'll show you my face. But don't tell anyone, not even your grandfather, he said as she nodded. Naruto took off his mask and was amazed by his face and the black sclere filled with darkness but filled with gentleness and protection of his green eyes. But there's something familiar about the face that makes it look like she wants to kill him. As Naruto feels her anger, he puts on his mask. Think of my hair as blonde and my eyes as normal blue, he told her, and the statement shocked her. It can't be. I thought you and Satsuki Uchiha had died, Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki. I swore to avenge my mother Haitosu when your father killed her during the Third War. What made me snap was that he also killed Roshi and Han, who were Son Goku and Five Tails Jinchuriki. Then it got worse when my cousin Deendra Kaboom went missing after stealing the Kuchai Naishi. Kuretsuchi, I know where she is, but I don't think you can go to her just yet, he told her. Why not? She asked as she narrowed her eyes as Satsuki appeared and used the Sharingan on Kuro, who fell asleep as they went into her mindscape. Kuretsuchi's mindscape. It was very hot because there were a lot of volcanoes, and somehow they were sweating, even though they are Otsutsuki. This is the first Jinchuriki mindscape that doesn't have any water in it. Son Goku said, thanks for the compliment, boy. Naruto then told Kuretsuchi and Son Goku about their plan, which was accepted by the tailed beasts. Son Goku's seal was broken, and the tailed beasts gave a bit of their chakra to Naruto and Satsuki before they left the mindscape. Naruto took Kuro's blood to revive her. He makes a shadow clone and gives it the special scroll. Ashes and dust cover the shadow clone, and a fully revived Kuretsuchi takes its place while Son Goku stands on her left shoulder. I even gave you a little surprise for later, Naruto said as he and Satsuki left. Kuretsuchi asked Naruto, before you leave, can I go on a date with you? Naruto actually smiled at her as they went out to have fun, which was the first time in years that Kuretsuchi was happy. I'll be happy, Kuro, Naruto said to her, using her nickname, as she blushed for the first time. He was just as happy that she found someone for her as Son Goku was that Kuretsuchi found a good match. End of flashbacks. Shin wanted to know about Gaia Sabaku, Rock Lee, and Sakumo, and Shin's ninja info cards were a big surprise to the Konoha teams. Kabuto says that her team got on a rank without any injuries and that she uses magnet style. Rock Lee was born with a condition that lets him use chakra, and Sakumo is blank, as if he doesn't exist. The teams were surprised that Sakumo didn't know anything, and Naruto glared at him as a snake came out of Kabuto's behind and the girls said Yuwa. Moreover, the girls moved away from Kabuto. Anko was explaining the rules and giving each team a form to sign saying that Konoha is not responsible if anyone dies in the forest. I'm not afraid of anything in that forest at all, Naruto said as a fact. So we've got a tough boy here, huh? Anko asked as she threw a kunai at Naruto. He didn't even move as the kunai went through his mask and cut his left cheek. The kunai then passed next to Akusa Genin as Anko shunshin behind Naruto as she licked his blood. Your blood looks kind of familiar. Do I know you? She asked Naruto until he snuck up behind her and stole her pants without her knowing. You smell like a virgin. Those black underwear with the teddy bear face are so cute, Naruto told her as he rubbed her pussy and tasted her juices. I'm not cute. I'm a badass kunoichi, she said while trying to keep a straight face but couldn't because Naruto was using a bit of lightning chakra while making his fingers vibrate her pussy. Naruto said, yummy. Several girls were blushing and attracted to his boldness, while the guys, Lee, Neji, Kabuto, and Orochimaru, were angry that this no-name scumbag was making a special jonin moan in front of them. Mate with him again, Kuro, Son Goku told Kiritsuchi, who blushed when Toph and Azula saw her blushing. As Anko prepares another kunai to stop Naruto until the Kyusa Genin gives the first one back. Here is your kunai, miss, the Kyusa Genin said to Anko. Naruto said to the Kyusa Nin, can't you see I'm busy, you drag queen? Why don't you go to your boy toy, Petamaru, to make you happy like you always do? The Kyusa Nin was surprised that Naruto knew who he really was and had the guts to insult him. Why'd you do that? Anko asked. Oh, come on. It was obvious that it was Orochimaru. What with the long tongue and the purple rope? And don't fight him since that was a mud clone. Naruto whispered to her and nodded as they continued with the exam. She gave half of the team the Earth Scroll and the other half the Heaven Scroll. They had 5 days to get to the tower with both scrolls, and once inside, everyone was an enemy. Begin, Anko yelled as they entered the forest. Naruto grinned as he got the Heaven Scroll. Can't you make an Earth Scroll? Katsumi asked him. Like I said before, you need to see it before you do it for the details, and these are fake summon scrolls that can only be used when we have both scrolls on the tower. Let's do the plan then, Naruto said. Faked our deaths again, Satsuki said. Yes, but Team Gaia will kill us for the scroll since they have the Earth and Gaia already killed the first aim team. Hokage Tower, Archive. As Anko was in charge of the second part of the exams, Narumi, Hanabi, and Marukor went to the archives to kill time and see if there were any useful jutsus inside. Suddenly, a black hand pushed a big scroll off a shelf. It almost fell on top of Mogi as Maru and Udon held it and put it down safely. It's good that you two caught it, Mogi told them as they saw the title of the scroll, Hyuga Affair. Hanabi said, I remembered that it happened before I was born, when my sister was 3 years old, and the Jonin commander of Kumo sneaked into our compound to kidnap Hinata during a peace treaty. My uncle Hisashi gave his life to stop a war between Konoha and Kumo, but something doesn't add up. First, how could a Jonin commander get into the compound when every adult Hyuga has the Byakugan and can see through walls? This shows that it was an inside job. So why Hinata in particular? Narumi said that the more they read, the more Hanabi was shocked by the following information. As I had predicted, Hinata was too weak to be worthy of the Byakugan and become the next clan head. However, it has been shown that her eyes are too strong for it to go to waste. Is it possible that it gains the mythical evolved form of our founder Hemura Otsutsuki, also known as the Man on the Moon, called the Tenseigan? Even so, the Jonin commander of Kumo was actually a sleeping root nin of Danzo. This means that we must protect the Byakugan from Danzo Shimura's Warhawk hands, especially if Hinata's eyes evolve. If a Hyuga or Neji reads this, I'm very sorry. I did it because I loved my brother and Neji's son, and I did it on my own free will. Signed by Hisashi Hyuga, the brother of Hayashi Hyuga. The clan head Hanabi was so scared and crying when she read that she had found the truth about the Hyuga affair, which had given her a huge headache and given her blue pupils with white flower-like patterns. It was only for a short time, but it shocked her friends so much that Udon took a picture of it as Hanabi's eyes changed back into the Byakugan. They told us in Neji lies. I mean, they must have more secrets up their sleeves, Hanabi said, as she questioned her own clan. That they lied to Neji about his dead father because of fate, and made him hate Hinata because of something she couldn't change. This means that the elders are keeping more secrets from them. Hanabi, I think you have the potential for the Tenseigan, Udon told her as they sealed the scroll. Narumi used her sealing chains to quickly carry Hanabi, who fell asleep as they left the Hokage Tower. Black Zetsu saw them leave and nodded. As he mayflied away, he said, Mother and father will be happy with the progress. As Team Otsutsuki met the lone female Kyusa Genin with Team 5, Shin Uchiha showed off his Mangekyo Sharingan, which looked like Shin's clones from Boruto, to try to impress Team Gaia once more. How the hell is that boy related to you? Katsumi asked Satsuki, who was staring at Shin, who was looking at them with his eyes. Shin, how did you get those eyes to open? Matsuri asked without any malice. Oh, it was because I saw someone close to me get killed a few days ago. He was lying, but they already knew the truth, so it was clear. Really? Or was it while you were at the Blue Oyster Bar? How was it the first time they took you? Yodo said this when she saw Shin turn pale. Shin, what do they have to say? Ami asked worried. Yeah, just say it so I can watch Naruto-kun. Flare said this to Naruto while giving him a wink. Naruto jumped, but he knew killer intent was close. Why do I smell dirt, medicine, snakes, death, and little boys? Naruto asked as a giant snake appeared. He then put his hand on the floor and called out to one of his summons, a Heatran. Naruto, what can I do for you right now? Heatran said this to her master. What is that? And I want that stranger to come right now. Shin yelled as Heatran used ancient power on her and the giant snake ate her. Shin then used Magma Storm to burn the snake and kill it while it was still alive. Then she jumped out of the burned body of the snake without even so much as a sigh. Why did you do that? Naruto was yelled at by Ami. He is hopeless if he has to look at those eyes. Even more so what they do to boys with weak wills like him. Naruto said this while pointing at Shin, who was asleep. Hyukikuku. Well said. I dare say the Kyusa Genin said that Satsuki made Amaterasu, but instead of black flames, she used blue flames, which are the hottest flames after Naruto's green flames, whose shape he can already change. So you were there. Since you are just a mud clone, I would be lying. The real Orochimaru came out of the ground as Naruto used his hands to destroy the mud clone. How did you sense me? Orochimaru asked. Naruto said, when you have a powerful nose like mine to smell the times to pump your loads into your boy toy, it becomes your signature smell. The others laughed as Orochimaru used his Kusanagi to stab Naruto as he held it as it crumbled as he looked directly at Orochimaru's eyes with his green eyes glowing. Naruto told Orochimaru, calm down, Kaguya, as the sewer mindscape appeared. Behind Naruto, Orochimaru saw something horrifying. A giant white rabbit with Byakugan eyes and a big red eye on the forehead that is a mix of the Rinnegan from Pain and Red and the Sharingan, but with 9 Tomos breathing slowly as their breath was visible like a mist. What really scared him was that the beast had 10 hand tails and 9 different heads on the big fluffy tail, which he knew from the 1, 8, and 9. Orochimaru said, Mommy, with his mouth on the wet floor after his body literally fell apart from the fear he is feeling right now. His body parts put themselves back together. Does 10 tails really exist? He asked himself this as Kaguya threw him out of the mindscape and changed back into herself. As he got close to Shin, he wanted to mark him, but the image of the 10 tails distracted him, and he ended up marking Shin's tiny penis instead, since Orochimaru spits pubes. But he did what he wanted to do, so he left. Well, that was unexpected, Naruto said as he sealed the Kusanagi on his arm for later use. Orochimaru had added an explosive poison to Shin's cursed mark, and Naruto already wanted Obaido's Mangekyo Sharingan since he wasn't good enough to have Kamui because Satsuki's Mangekyo already had those abilities because they are like Indra's eyes. As the sound team, there was a girl with pale skin, bright green eyes, angular facial features, and 2 scarlet dots on her forehead, which all members of the Kaguya clan have. Her long white hair was tied in a loose ponytail near the middle of her back, and there were 2 separate parts on either side of her face. Wearing a customized version of the traditional Odo Nin outfit, which consisted of a light lavender, loose-fitting, long-sleeved, zip-up shirt, black pants cut off around mid-calf, bandages wrapped around her ankles and high D-cup breasts, traditional shinobi sandals, and a purple, rope-like belt tied in an inverted bow around her waist. Her cursed seal of earth is a circle with 3 curved lines that is put on the bottom of her throat. This is Kimiko Kaguya. She is the last member of the Kaguya clan of Kirigakure, which used to be rivals with the peaceful but moody Uzumaki clan. She is also a descendant of Kaguya Otsutsuki and specializes in a weaker version of her all-killing ash bones, which are similar to the truth-seeking orbs but harder to control. Her clan was the first to die when Obaido. Is one of Orochimaru's most powerful shinobi, and in exchange for a cure for her illness, she was going to be his vessel. She has her headband on her right arm covered. The second girl is a fair-skinned girl with a slender build and with the shortest stature of the 3. She has brown eyes that are emphasized by eyelashes that go all the way to the corners of her eyes. She usually had a blank look on her face. Her most distinctive feature is her long, untamed, dark pink hair that falls past her shoulders with long parted bangs framing either side of her face and one between her eyes. Her cursed seal is on the back of her neck, where it looks like a triskelion with 3 hooks in a circle. It is hidden by her hair. On her left arm is a headband. Her attire is a black shirt under a tan tunic with elbow-length sleeves and black skin-tight shorts. She wore black arm warmers, traditional black shinobi sandals with calf-length leg warmers covered by bandages, and a purple, rope-like belt tied in an inverted bow around her waist. She wears a black hat with pipe-like stripes and bandaged sides to keep her wild hair out of the way. Her bangs stay in place, and the rest of her hair is pushed back behind her ears and falls down her back. Her village symbol is engraved on her hat. This is Teuya Uzumaki, whose parents survived the massacre but were killed by Orochimaru without her knowing it. The last girl in the group has light skin, dark eyes, and almost floor-length black hair that is tied at the end with a violet ribbon. She was wearing a head guard, a pale green vest that looked a bit like a flak jacket, snake-patterned pants, a snake-patterned skirt, and a snake-patterned scarf around her neck. This is Kin Tsuchai Uchiha, who was one of the lucky ones since some of the Uchiha ancestors had the common sense to leave the village when Madara Uchiha did, while the rest betrayed him when he justified his reason to leave the village. Orochimaru killed her parents again, even though they didn't use their Sharingan. Shin woke up and became stronger, but his chakra was corrupted, unlike dark chakra, because it wasn't his own emotions but someone else's. Shin wanted to kill Kin because he wanted to, so Naruto took his hand out and made a Rasengan that looked green and brown and was powered by natural energy. He called it the wood-style Rasengan and threw it at Shin, who couldn't avoid it because it was homing in on him. When it hit Shin, vines. After that happened, they checked if Kin is alright as Teuya and Kimiko gasped as what they saw on her eyes now red with 2 tomos on each eye. Kin asked them, "What are you looking at?" Teuya gave Kin a hand mirror when she saw that she had opened her Sharingan. When Satsuki hugged Kin, Kin asked, "Do you have the Sharingan?" "I can't believe I have a cousin who's still alive," she cried as she hugged Kin and blushed when Katsumi came in with Karin Uzumaki, whom she had saved from a bear that had killed the rest of her team. Teuya saw Katsumi's golden chains come out of her torso and tried to hold her, but Katsumi used her chains to beat Teuya's. Satsuki thought to herself, can Katsumi also use the chakra chains? Since Shukaku and Chomai have the wood style and Katsumi is now the second known weakness of the tailed beast, she wondered if the Rin Sharingan would be the next weakness to be found. Naruto said, with black hair and onyx eyes, Kin is definitely a Uchiha, just like Karin and Teuya are Uzumaki. Teuya yelled at them to calm down. "Okay, let's calm the fuck down. We cannot let anyone know, especially Danzo if he gets to Uzumaki, a female Uchiha, and the last member of the Kaguya clan on his wrinkly mummy hands," Naruto said quietly as Team Gaia appears as Naruto commences his plan. "Since when do the chains act like that?" Karin asked until Naruto told her to shut up. He asked Naruto, "Haven't you felt that?" Teuya asked, "Fucking sense what? I don't sense anyone else." Naruto said, "It's killer intent from enemy shinobi." Karin and Teuya were surprised that he could sense emotions because the only other creature that could do that was the legendary nine-tailed fox. 2 teams of Aimnin attacked them from behind, and Satsuki and Katsumi laughed as the Aimnin's feet were covered in sand. This was because Gaia used sand that she made out of thin air to use sand burial on them. The Aimnin were buried alive and didn't use hand seals at all. "You 3 keep going with the test, because we have something to do," he said as he made 4 wood clones, of which 3 turned into Katsumi, Satsuki, and Karin. He then gave Team Kimiko the Heaven Scroll they needed, since Team Gaia had both scrolls. Team Gaia then used sand burial to kill the wood clones, while Team Otsutsuki and Karin left the scene. "Whoever you are, very lucky that we won't kill you just like Gaia did with those Nin's dog breath," Matsuri said as Team 8 came out of the bushes as Akamaru whimpered when he saw Katsumi, who smiled and hid inside Kiba as Shino's bugs were acting crazy, and Hinata checked Gaia's chakra and nearly blinded her due to the potency of her chakra. Gaia's team left as Team 8 stood there shaking in fear that they had killed Team Otsutsuki and an innocent girl. Office of the Hokage. Minato was looking at the teams that made it through the second exam. He was looking at Iwa's team, especially the Tsuchikide's granddaughter. Minato looked at Kiritsuchi's face with his finger. "She looks just like her mother when I raped and killed her during the war with my flying thunder god jutsu. I didn't know she had a daughter. I wonder if she's a virgin and a screamer like her mom. It still pissed me off she cut my left nut sack. Oh well, I hope to see you soon. Ha 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 ha, that injury again," Minato said while rubbing his left testicle. "Is that the 4 tails?" he asked as he kept seeing the small image of Son Goku. The fact that a tailed beast was out shocked him. "I think I'm seeing things that is impossible, that a tailed beast is out, not even Kushina nor the twins have that kind of ability." Minato trying to figure out how can a host survive the extraction and still live without being at least part Uzumaki. where the tower is. Team Gaia, made up of Kimiko, Kuritsuchi, Yujito, Delta 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10, found both scrolls with flare unsealing Shin's body. Shin was knocked out as they opened their scrolls and threw them on the floor. Out of the smoke, Anko, Aruka, Yujito, Guren, Kakashi, Kushina, Kurenai, Might Guy, and Asuma saw teammate hiding behind Kerr. What got them so scared of? Asuma asked while Kurenai turned her head against him. It was terrible that Gaia used her sand to kill Sakumo, Elrina, Katsumi, and a girl from Kyusa. Hinata said while crying as Shukaku gave her tissue as he smiled at her that also scared her. What is that? Ino asked as she tried to use her mind transfer jutsu on Shukaku and saw images of Kaguya. Hagor almost spreading chakra, his siblings making things, being captured by Rito, being sealed on Bunpuku, Gaia's birth, and the 10 tails. But Shukaku threw her out of his mind. Well, that is something rude to do with my consent. Shukaku slapped her as she stepped away from Shukaku as she was mumbling and cradling to herself. Ino, what the heck did you see in there? Asuma said to her. Sensei, I thought the Kyuubi was the only tailed beast, but it turns out that there are more. There were 8 more like him, but each one had a different number of tails. That the Sage of 6 Paths was real and created them from a 10-tailed monster and a woman that had the Byakugan and something like the Sharingan but with more rings and 9 tomos. Ino said to Asuma, shocking them as they saw Team Kuritsuchi with Son Goku playing with Toph and Azula. Shukaku looked back at Ino while he was glowing a terracotta color and his cursed marks were glowing white. Shukaku made a promise to Ino, next time, I'll put you in a sexual coma while my puppy loses her virginity. He said this as he turned light brown sand color and got blue cursed marks as they watched Shin and Ami take Shin to the medical bay. You, I can't believe that you used your sand to kill Naruto-kun. You skank, Flare shouted and cursed Gaia, and Shukaku had it and bit her ass hard. You can call me a monster, a thing, or a demon, but you should never insult my daughter in all but blood or chakra, especially since she is the Kazekage youngest daughter. As an apology, Shukaku said this as she knelt in front of Gaia. Also, Lady Gaia, may I ask you something alone? You still don't want to tell, do you? Flare asked Gaia as they went somewhere else into a storage area and checked if there wasn't any cameras or recording seals nor recording devices inside the area. As Shukaku was outside the door, if something happens to Gaia, Flare suddenly jumps on Gaia. You killed him and I can smell that stink on you, Satsuki and the other girls on you. Now die. She said this as she pulled a sword from her bra and started to attack Gaia. Just then, Shukaku came in to save Gaia. Shit, this girl is crazier than me and that's something. Shukaku said that he avoided Flare's sword by splitting his body. Flare's attacks are getting faster, and Gaia used her sand defense to protect herself and Shukaku. Dragon Slash is a style of water. Flare yelled as her water-covered sword made a small hole in her defense. I have no idea who Naruto and Satsuki are. Gaia called out to her. Don't mess with me, you stupid BTCH. I'm not as dumb as these people in the village and my cousin. I can see right through that. Flare yelled at them, which scared Shukaku. Flare starts to touch her own body. I've always wanted him to be inside my boots, to lick my boots, and to be my pet. I wish I could use the collar on him now, but I can't. Gaia was angry when she heard that, so Flare gave her speech. Sand snakes. Gaia made sand appear out of thin air. Sand snakes came towards Flare as she made a water wall to stop them. This skank is making me mad. Shukaku, I need your help. Gaia said this as they both started to glow terracotta and their cursed marks started to glow white. Sorry Naruto, I probably have to take her down to keep your secret safe. This chick is a bad thing. Flare has to die, Gaia said, and she felt weaker by the second. Who do you think you are? Why can't I feel the power of Shukaku? Gaia asked her as Flare cups her chin and kisses her lips. Flare told her before Gaia fell asleep, tell Naruto-kun that I'll see him soon. And don't worry about that seal. It only lasts 5 minutes, so be a good girl and take a nap. Flare said, that was fun, but now it's time to stop, and her face in the middle of her forehead suddenly got strange red marks. Shukaku tried to run away. No, it's impossible. She can't be a sage and have that Hashirama Senju mode at the same time. Shukaku said as Flare looked at him. Hokage style, 60-year-old technique. Cack when entering society with bliss-bringing hands. Flare said as she got close to Shukaku and touched his forehead to forcefully stop his chakra, putting him to sleep while she left them alone. 20 minutes later, Gaia woke up as Shukaku was still sleeping. Where's that skank? Shukaku, she kicked our asses at the same time. We need to tell Naruto as soon as possible about this girl, Gaia said to him, who woke up as they were leaving the storage room and her teammates came running towards them. Where have you been, Gaia? It's been almost an hour since we last saw you. Matsuri asked her. Not here. Let's go back to our room so I can tell you all about it. Gaia let them know. Team Gaia's room. Because of Shukaku, she began to get better. So, what went on back there? Yodo had them do it. I got my ass kicked by a crazy fangirl. Gaia answered as Yodo and Matsuri stared at her. Huh? Yodo and Matsuri said. She said, a fangirl kicked my butt in Shukaku's too. What was her name? Matsuri asked. Flare Haruno. She has water style, strong taijutsu that she was faster than my sand. She said, I didn't watch out for her because she was a fangirl. Shukaku, I need you to get in touch with Naruto so we can talk, Gaia said as he nodded. Matsuri, Yodo watch my and Shukaku's body okay, she said as they understood. Gaia's mindscape. Her new mindscape looked like a big desert at night, when the stars were shining brightly, with oases scattered all over it. She saw Naruto, Satsuki, Katsumi and Kaguya present. What is going on? Naruto asked. Are you familiar with Flare Haruno? As Naruto and Satsuki shivered, Gaia said. Naruto said, she used to be our friend until something bad happened to her and her family. What happened? Gaia asked. At first, she was in our class, but she took the graduation test 2 years ago, making her the youngest ninja to graduate, younger than both Kakashi and Itachi, Satsuki said. Naruto said, I remember that her mother was very kind and gave us cookies. So, what was different? Gaia asked. During summer break, her family went to Moon Country. Just let Yo know her parent were never ninjas, just a food merchants. Satsuki said. What happened? Shukaku asked. When they were coming back from Moon, they have Kyusa ninjas escorted the back to village. One of the man didn't like that her mother turning him down, telling him she was married. That night, those Kyusa ninjas killed her father and a baby boy to get out of the deal. 2 months they were being held in an undisclosed location being raped by those animals. They broke them and Lady Lily was very kind-hearted, she didn't deserve it. Flare didn't change. The Konoha and Kyusa ninjas did the rescue mission, saving the Lady Lily and Flare from the captures. We didn't know about it until class started, when we saw her looking like she didn't know where she was. While Flare was at school, that didn't stop there. Lady Lily Naruto talked until Gaia told him to stop. I don't want to hear anymore, Gaia said. I felt something weird on her as every time she used her water style there were small traces of wood chakra. Shukaku said as that made Naruto, Satsuki and Katsumi pause themselves. Shukaku said, that's not all. She also used the Hokage style, 60-year-old technique, Kak when entering society with bliss bringing hands on me to forcefully suppress my chakra. And guess what? She had the same markings as Hashirama Senju's Sage Mode. Katsumi's eyes popped out of her face and turned towards Shukaku as Naruto, and Satsuki's jaws dropped into the, you're full of it. As Satsuki passed out, Naruto said that it was strange for that to happen in a mindscape. While Gaia was talking to the Naruto group, a brown seed under her shoe was listening to what her teammates were saying in her room. In Team 5's room, Flare was listening to what was going on in Team Gaia's room. Boring. They just talking bullshit. I wish I could make camera seeds to watch. Let's see, Shin and Ami are still in the infirmary, Ami probably jerking him off. Kakashi is at the Hokage tower reading his pathetic bad written porn. Flare said in a bored tone. Most of the teams are in their rooms or in the cafeteria. This is dull. I was lucky to get my Naruto plush. Flare said this while holding a life-size Naruto plush. In the village, several girls have their plushies of Naruto like Fu, Ada, Haku, Ayame, Hanabi and Mogi for example. I wish that I can tell you and Satsuki to what happened to me and my family, she said sadly to the plushie. Flashback. Inside a Kusagekure hideout, Lady Lily begged, look, just let us go, please. The Kyusa-nin told them, shut up, you're my woman. And you and your daughter are going to enjoy the ride for a long time and have babies, too. Flare saw her mother being hurt over and over again, and her eyes looked like they were going to die. I need you to go get help, my legs still hurt, she told her mother, who saw her nod. Lily saw this, she need them to watch her, not her daughter. She told the men, more, harder, and they did what she asked and started hitting her harder. She told her daughter, goodbye, my sweet Flare. Flare jumped at the chance. She walked into the room, shut and locked the cage, and broke the key so they couldn't follow her. How long was she down there, as she needs to find help? She prayed for Kami to leave her, but her prayer wasn't answered because someone took her virginity, and the kiss she was saving for Naruto right in front of the entrance. Because of this person, it's no longer there. When he saw her, the person smiled. Are you trying to leave without giving me a goodbye kiss first? The man asked sexily. Fuck you. She cursed him. Don't worry, I will, the man said as he charged at her as the darkness came to take her. In the hideout, he stabbed her in the shoulder with a bone while she was being held on a cell that used to belong to a Senju girl that the Kyusa-nin ancestors raped. One of the bone fragments entered her fractured bones. Moments later, a rescue team of Kusa arrived with Karin's mother supplied her with her chakra and blood. Then, as Flare and the rescue team left the hideout, something amazing happened. Flowers started to grow where she was. The flashback is over. As she returned to Konoha, she began to train in secret her wood style, Kenjutsu, Taijutsu and sealing arts that she beat the record of Kakashi and Itachi. Her wood style is superior than Hashirama Senju and Tenzo of the Yin wood style, as he can create the wood but lack the life on them since hers was a dormant gene that the Uzumaki awoke by using her chakra and blood. At the same time, in Team Gaia's room, as Gaia and Shukaku awoke as he sensed something on Gaia's shoe as she took out a seed from her shoe and crushed it. Natsuri asked, "What was that?" "Oh my kami, it was a transmission seed," meaning that Flare was hearing us this whole time. "I didn't even sense it until now," Gaia said as Shukaku holds his hands to his face showing a shocked expression. While Naruto and Black Sun were on at night, Naruto said as they looked at the Shimura compound, which is also the main entrance to Root HQ, "I guess it's time for us to finally raid Root HQ. Katsumi told them, "If there's one place to find Konoha's and other villages' dirtiest secrets, it's Root HQ, and I felt something strange there 2 days ago." They nodded, since they had everything they needed to raid the place. Yujiro asked Naruto, "Are you sure we can do this?" Because she was having doubts. "Why are you worried? You're a Jonin, and I'm a missing nin. Also, my son told me that there are secret documents inside Root HQ that he couldn't get to because of fire seals." He said to her, "Son, who is your son, Naruto?" Karin asked his cousin. He told them, "You will meet him someday. But don't freak out about how he looks when you do." At the time, most of them were wearing masks with Nirvana seals to protect themselves from Shisui Uchiha's Manjikaiou ability, which they had seen Satsuki use on some genin teams who were being nosy. Even without looking in the eye, it still had effects, except on Naruto's Pokemon summons, especially his dark types, and in addition, they wore black robes to blend in. Karin was using her mind eyes of the Kagura to see if there were any root nin hiding inside the compound. She didn't find anyone when they went into Danzo's study to find a secret passage. "Are you sure this is where the secret door is?" Teuya asked. "Yes, because it played tricks on him here and saw him go through a door as he pushed a button on his desk." "Bingo," Naruto said as he found the button and a secret door appeared behind a bookshelf as they went in. "Fucking dang it, it's a voice-coded door." Yodo stepped out in front of the door, and Teuya said something as she coughed a little and her voice changed. Yodo said, "I'll do anything in my power for the greater good of Konoha," in Danzo's voice word for word. "Spot on, Yoda. How did you do that?" "Because it was cool." Samui asked her this as Yodo slowly turned around to show her a Manjikaiou Sharingan that looks like a star but with the colors turned around. Yujiro Matatabi was scared inside. "How did you get those eyes?" Yujiro had asked her. "Let's just say that Naruto-kun helped us," Yodo said as she showed her a mark of a black sun on her shoulder. As they move on to look at another door, which requires penile identification, Naruto said, "Let me handle this," as he pulled down his pants. The girls who hadn't seen his sword were impressed, since Matatabi wants to eat it. "How the hell did you match the shape?" Teuya yelled at him. "I didn't match it, I just broke it," Naruto said as they went towards the last door. "There are root nin behind the door," Toph said while putting her visor on. "Last question. Who is the only person Danzo has never threatened to kill?" The door said, "Minato." Naruto answered as the door opened and he told Ada to do her thing. All of Root Nin could see her as she batted her eyelashes, making men cringe, women turn red with envy, little girls feel tingly, and little boys pee their pants. Wow, Danzo is a terrible person for doing this, and he wanted Menma and Arashi to be like them. Kuretsuchi is now wearing a dark, sleeveless tank top with a white collar and a red tie. She also wears a red belt with a red side skirt cover over a black, pleated skirt. She pairs it with long black socks and black shoes. She also wears a red gauntlet and black gloves. This is a sign that she's joining Black Sun. Azula and Toph are wearing black sailor uniforms with red belts and a red side skirt cover like Kuretsuchi. Their shirts are a bit too short because they don't cover their belly buttons. Using red gauntlets like Kuretsuchi, pairing it with long black socks and black shoes. Hidden, hiding and scale powder technique. Fu and Chomai yelled as they exhaled luminous scale powder to blind the Root Nins as Black Sun killed them all, even the children. 10 minutes later. That was fast and boring because they thought we would be predictable. Azula said as Satsuki used a strong genjutsu to trick the cameras and seals so that Danzo thinks his army is training while the real ones' bodies are sealed so that they can be used as animatronics later. Those children couldn't be saved because we killed them quickly and painlessly, so they couldn't be fixed, Katsumi said as they lowered their heads. There are still more Root-nin around, Karin said after noticing her surroundings. How many? Gaia said. Less than 10, but some people are a few levels below us, Karin answered. So the mummy has prisoners, huh? Then we have to save them if they can be rehabilitated, Satsuki said as they went on. You know the drill, capture Danzo because we need him alive right now, Satsuki said with a smile, and they got the message. They moved quietly so they wouldn't be heard as they saw two Root-nins who are the same age as Naruto and Satsuki. As both people are wearing the standard Root-nin shinobi clothes and ANBU masks, but one has black hair, and the other has pink hair with white streaks, they are guarding Danzo's main office, where he keeps important documents and mission files. As Naruto made wood clones, he turned most of them into girls, except for 3 that were Shikaku, Chomai, and himself. As Naruto gave them the orders, they left to go find Danzo. Matsuri, along with Fu and Azula, said, everything is locked up and fakes have been put in its place. As the real ones found the nest, they were joined by female Uzumaki clan members and females from other clans from the other major villages. One was a very tall, curvy woman with thickly braided, bow-decorated scarlet hair. Her 2 front braids have 2 gold ornaments at the top, and her ears have U-shaped earrings and red lipstick. Now that she's dressed in a risque version of a typical witch's outfit, she could make a lot of people crazy with desire. She had a diamond-shaped opening that showed some of her full breasts, and a heart-shaped pattern around the edges. It goes down to the navel of her stomach, where it meets a large, angular scar. A dark-colored cape with a light-colored inside and 2 gold ornaments is draped over it and held together by a golden chain. Wears a long black loincloth with the Uzumaki clan symbol on the front. It has white borders and is connected to another piece with the same heart-shaped design. Wearing a pair of black thigh-high boots with heels that have a white border near the top and gloves that are the same color and style, but have claw-like extensions. The last part of her outfit is a witch's hat with dreadlock designs, white bandaging near the end, and fur lining near the edges. This is Irene Balsirian Uzumaki, a former daimyo and the founder of Uzashigakure. She is Asura Otsutsuki's younger daughter, Kushina's mother, and Mito Uzumaki's sister. She is known as the Immortal Dragon Empress, a tall, young woman with large breasts and long red hair. Her outfit consists of a very revealing cerulean top with a thin white trim that tapers off at her waist and busts into multiple spiked points. The front of this top has a sky blue bow tied in the middle of her chest, and she finishes off her look with a pair of white capri shorts. This is Wendy Marvel Uzumaki, one of Kushina's older sisters, a woman wearing a black catsuit. It opened in the front and had fingerless gloves with the Uzumaki swirls on the shoulders. It had 2 belts. One of them had a red hourglass symbol on it, and the other one was a utility belt. It also had a holster for the leg. This is Natalia Uzumaki, one of Kushina's older sisters, a well-endowed woman with long, wavy, scarlet hair tied in an elegant, loose knot at the back. She wears a very provocative outfit with a halter-style armor breastplate top that shows a lot of her cleavage and stomach, as well as light armored gauntlets and greaves on her forearms, forelegs, and thighs. She also wears a dark bikini bottom with a piece of cloth covering her hips. She wraps a dark scarf around her neck. This is Urza Scarlet Uzumaki's and Kushina's twin sister, a very beautiful young woman with fair skin, long pink hair that she ties back with a black ribbon, and green eyes. She wears a suit to battle, and most of the time, she wears a black jacket with frills over it. This is Akasha Uzumaki's and Kushina's younger sister, a pretty tall, light-skinned woman with a slim frame and a shapely figure. She is very beautiful, with blue eyes and a beauty mark under the left side of her lips. She has long, maroon hair that reaches her hips and has bangs that part slightly to the right of her forehead and frame the sides of her face. Like the rest of her team, she is wearing something that looks like a kupao. Her clothes are rather revealing, showing off her shoulders and upper back, while the rest of her clothes fit her well. Her outfit was dark pink with a purple, gray, and yellow lining. It also had arm warmers that reached down to her light purple spandex shorts. She wears a pair of black boots with low heels that reach her calves. This is Fuka Uzumaki, who is the second oldest Uzumaki after Irene, a beautiful young woman with long, crimson hair that reached her waist and pink eyes. People have said that for her age, she has a very slim but curvy body with large, bouncy breasts and big buttocks. She is wearing a white sailor uniform with a black collar and black cuffs with white horizontal stripes. She also has an orange tie hanging from the edges of her collar, a short black skirt with a single white stripe, long black socks with a red ribbon around her upper thigh, and a pair of maroon-colored shoes. That is Mio Naru's Uzumaki, a girl with red eyes and very long, light coral-colored hair that is usually tied on both sides with ribbons in different colors, is said to have the twin-tail hairstyle. She also has an anime antenna hair that always sticks up on the top of her head. Katori usually wears a white uniform with a black tie, a short teal-colored skirt, and long black stockings that reach up to half of her thigh. She also wears white ribbons. This is Katori Uzumaki, a pretty young woman with a full body, white skin, blue-green eyes, and a voluptuous figure. Her body's measurements are: her weight is, her long, beautiful, crimson hair, which she also got from her father, reaches down to her thighs and has a single hair strand sticking out from the top. This is what makes her stand out the most. Her hair also has loose bangs over her forehead and side bangs that frame her face. Is 172 centimeters, making her one of the tallest female characters. That is Ria's Gremory Uzumaki. Have the Uzumaki move around behind her coat. A young girl with red hair that is almost as long as her body and fiery crimson eyes. She has anime antenna hair, which always sticks out on the top of her head. Wears a Chinese dress with the Uzumaki spirals. This is Shauna Uzumaki, a thin young woman who is shorter than average in height. She has long, white hair that curls slightly at the ends. She has two bangs that frame her face and reach down to her chest. The most unique thing about her hairstyle is a short, upward ponytail made by gathering and tying the hair covering her forehead. Because she always wears this style, her hair seems to have adapted to it. For example, the hair on her forehead stays pointed up even when it's not tied. She has Tensegan eyes and a curvy, voluptuous body with big breasts. This is Murajane Straw-Satsuki, a young, tiny girl with short, white hair and Tensegan eyes, pairing a tank top with cross straps with a longer skirt. This is Listen Straw-Satsuki and Murajane's younger sister. Beautiful woman with long red hair, green eyes, and red lips, wearing what looks like a bikini made of leaves with gloves and shoes made of the same leaves. This is Pamela Lillian Senju, one of the members who have wood style. A teen with shoulder-length, light ocean blue hair that is pulled back into a ponytail with a purple-made headband with a gold star on the left side. She has deep purple eyes, thick, long black eyelashes, and large breasts, which she is very proud of. Even though her breasts are soft, big, and bouncy, she is not very tall. She is only 5 feet tall. She wears a long-sleeved white polo shirt with a red bow tie, a pale yellow vest, and a miniskirt. This is Kirimu Kirono Senju, a beautiful woman in her early or middle 30s who has light blue hair and purple eyes, mid-back length or waist-length wavy hair with a darkish tint and bangs swept to the left, having breasts in the J-cup shape. Ajaha Kirono Senju wears a red minidress that barely covers her ample cleavage, and a brown fur coat. She has long, red polished claws, is tall for her age, and wears a bright red strapless dress that is also a mini dress in length, with a black hem in the anime. Her coat is black, sparkles and shines, and has light tan fur on the collar. A woman with a curvy body and cat-like eyes, nose, and mouth. Her brown hair is styled into cat ears at the top and tied into 2 ponytails at the bottom. She wears a choker with a bell attached to it. Her clothes are a purple hooded cape, long black and purple striped leggings, evening gloves, tight and small black briefs with a belt, and boots. Ghislaine Dedoldia Inuzuka is Tsum's mother and the former head of the Inuzuka clan. She is a dark-skinned woman with rippling muscles and scars all over her body. She wears an eye patch and has a face that looks like it was sculpted by a delinquent boss. She looks like a female Amazon warrior from a fantasy story. She also has ears and a tail like a young woman with short lavender hair that covers the right side of her face. She has 6 red eyes with no pupils and sharp, pointed teeth. Her most noticeable feature is the mass at her humanoid buttocks, which is that of a giant spider with a large skull design on the back of its abdomen. Her arms and hands are covered in black carapace from the shoulders down. A woman with long, lightened black hair that reaches her lower back and is pulled back so you can see more of her forehead and ears. She was dressed in a long salmon sarong skirt, a navy blue leather vest with a V-neck and an image of the Nara symbol printed on the left breast near the shoulder, sunglasses, pink high-heeled pumps, and a pink backpack. She wears sunglasses, which she keeps on her forehead. This is Nico Robin Nara because, even though she hasn't learned how to use shadow manipulation, she can put multiple arms of herself on anything. She's a more active Nara, like her cousin Yoshino, a woman who looks like a slim, curvy young woman with long, light pink hair and purple eyes. Her outfit is a white low-cut tank top that shows both her midriff and cleavage, and a pair of orange and black striped buckled shorts with long, thin suspenders. She also wears hot pink and dark red stockings with a yellow sun-like design on them and black boots with high heels that reach up to her calf. She wears a green furazaka with a light green lining, bright red lipstick on her lips, and a brown furry jacket. This is Jewelry Banya Kamichi, who is also known as the Black Hole because of the way she eats and never gains weight. A skinny, well-endowed version of her fat self, with her long purple hair down, styled swirl-shaped marks on her cheeks and black lips. This is Hariko Hikafuna Kamichi. She wears the standard Shinigami uniform, a white, long-sleeved haori, and has a big silver hair ornament. A small woman who is often mistaken for being much younger than she really is. She has the face of a teenager, with emerald green eyes and green hair that naturally curls up at the ends. She wears a tight black dress with long sleeves, 4 high-cut leg slits that show off her legs, and black shoes with low heels. This is Tatsumaki Yamanaka, a young woman with a tall, slim, and curvy figure. She has dark green bob-cut hair that goes to her chin, and her eyes are light green. Her main outfit consists of a long white fur coat, a dark green form-fitting dress, thigh-high black boots, and several necklaces. This is Fubuki Yamanaka, younger sister of Tatsumaki Yamanaka, a woman wearing a black coat and gloves, but her black boots are more feminine because they have heels. Her bright blonde hair is slicked back and about jaw length. 2 long strands are styled into distinctive antennae-like strands. Her eyes are cyan, and she is very thin and has an hourglass shape compared to the other girls. But this doesn't show how strong she is. This is Laxren Hakade, Kakashi's older sister, true clan heir of the Hakade clan, and true bearer of the unbreakable white light chakra saber. A woman wearing a black coat like Larxine's, but with slightly pointed shoulders, closer fitting sleeves, and the same heeled boots and basic black gloves. Her eyes are blue, her hair is black, and her bangs part on a different side. She has a purple rectangle on her face. That is Kshin Nohara, a woman with long silver hair. Her eyes are much more demonic because they have red irises with slit pupils. Her expressions are much more stern, serious, and sometimes cocky, and her fangs are also much more noticeable than on a normal person. Her breasts and buttocks grow so much that they are too big for her clothes. Her shirt shows a small amount of cleavage, and her skirt lets a good amount of her butt cheeks slip out. This is Mocha Chinook, one of the few known members of the Chinook clan from the Land of Lightning to have lived through the Warring States period. A teen with shoulder-length light purple hair, blue eyes with a bit of purple at the top, and a lollipop in her mouth to help keep her body temperature stable. She wears a light brown pleated checkered skirt, a white sweatshirt with long dark blue sleeves and a black singlet underneath, a yellow necklace, long dark and light purple striped stockings, white shoes, and a belt tied around her left leg. That is Mizore Yuki, a very young and beautiful woman with purple-silver hair tied up in a bun with bangs that look like Mizore's hair. She has blue-purple eyes and a lollipop in her mouth, which keeps her body cool in hot climates. She's wearing a white kimono with a purple obi sash, white tabai socks, and black Ziorai sandals. This is Tsurare Yuki, and she is also Mizore's mother. Juvia is a skinny teenage girl with blue hair, blue eyes, white skin, and a curvy body. Wearing a sapphire blue coat, a cream-colored fur-trimmed navy blue shawl with a white teru BZU attached to it, and a matching Russian Cossack hat. That is Juvia Loxer Yuki, a teen whose hair has been bleached blue, whose eyes are yellow, and whose once white dress has darkened and become torn. Her arms and legs have also started to get darker, and her hands are now black with red fingertips. That is Aqua Hazuki, a girl with ivory skin and long, black hair that is usually tied in long twin tails. Her right eye has a red tint, while her left eye looks like a golden, artificial clock face. Wears a dress with crimson and black frills that make her look like an elegant gothic Lolita with uneven twin tails. She usually wears a big crimson net bow to hold her hair on her head. She also has a red and black collar on her neck. Her height is said to be 157 centimeters, and her 3 sizes are B85 divided by W59 divided by H87. This is Kurumi Karatachi and Yagura's sister, a young teen girl with pink eyes and long pink hair pulled back into pigtails. 2 strands of hair in the front are tied with red bows, while the back pigtails are left bare. Her most common outfit is a blue shirt with a ribbon on the chest and a blue skirt with high socks. This is Yuno Gasai Karatachi, a woman who has a good-looking figure. She is very tall and thin, with long black hair that goes past her waist. Locks of hair frame her face down to her chin, showing off her high forehead, black eyes with long, thick eyelashes, and pale skin. She has a skinny waist and very large breasts. Her 3 measurements are B111, W61, and H91 W24.02x H35.83, making her breasts a J cup. She wore a revealing red blouse that showed most of her chest and a loose sarong that showed off her long, skinny legs. She also wore a white cape with epaulets and red high heel pumps. This is Boa Hancock of the Hancock clan, who is Orochimaru's cousin he never met because Danzo and Hiruzen tried to make him the perfect ninja. Holy crap, that was a lot of descriptions, shouted Shukaku until Chomai hit him. Don't break the 4th wall, Shukaku. Chomai yelled back as Kuro used Dust Style Chainsaw Rumble to destroy the metal bars and free the prisoners Naruto could see. I can't believe I had more family on Konoha right under my nose for years. Oh, that's it. Danzo will pay dearly, Naruto said, furious, until he saw Irene pounce on him. Naruto, it's you. It's me, your grandmother, Irene said while hugging him and shoving her breasts in his face as he grew a bone. Even though all of the tailed beasts, except for Shukaku and Katsumi, felt that way, they already knew her. Is it weird to have a boner for my grandmother? Naruto asked Katsumi, who shrugged. For an Uzumaki, that's pretty normal. And I'm a tailed beast like Naruto, Katsumi said, but Irene ignored that part. I can smell the smell of sex between you and the Uchiha, Irene whispered into his ear. I want you to ravage me because I haven't had sex in 30 years because Danzo thought I was a trophy because of the seal I put on myself so they can't even touch me and if they do, they die very painfully. What do you say? Can you handle a dragon? She asked Naruto, who got a huge nosebleed. I still got, Irene said to herself as Son Goku and Chomai recognized her. We know you're Irene Bulsarian Uzumaki, Son Goku and Chomai said. Goku, how do you know this woman? Hiro asked. We'll explain later, Son Goku told her as they left the nest. There are still a few women trapped here, Wendy said. How many? Naruto asked. 4, she replied. Which ones? Satsuki said. Kushina, Rin, Izumi, and Mikoto, Wendy answered, which shocked both of them. What do you mean by Kushina? I was raised by her, he said with venom. Wait, I'm telling the truth. The Kushina you knew was a clone. It's kind of like a homunculus, but more advanced. It has the same chakra signature and smell as the original and is almost perfect, except for its skills and personality, Ratchnara said. How do you know that? Naruto asked, since he was raised as a child by a clone. Because I'm good at sneaking around and spying with the help of my spiders, who are more quiet and effective than my clan's Kikachis. Kushina is held separately, like Izumi, Mikoto, and Rin, Ratchnara said, holding up a bag with a spider nest inside that she had made herself. The bag had seals to hold more spiders. What did you say about Rin, Izumi, and my mother? Satsuki asked. I saw with my own eyes that Itachi killed her, that Izumi was on a mission from Nekaba, and that Rin died when Bakashi hit her with a Chidori, Satsuki said. Listen carefully if you know about your clan's Kenjutsu Izanagi, right? Irene asked Satsuki, who nodded. What does it have to do with my mom? Satsuki asked. It's a sharing in Kenjutsu that blinds one eye to rewrite an injury or even death unless you replace your eye with another eye. Easy, because she used it to live before she died, Irene answered. What? Satsuki said. But you said that after using it, one eye goes blind. That only works for normal Sharingans. If the Uchiha has a Mangekyo or the eternal variant when the colors are inverted, which is the pure version just like yours and Mikoto's, you won't go blind from overuse like Uncle Indra did. Just like his, yours are the eternal variant, which is the peak of the Sharingan before the Rinnegan. Is that right, Katsumi? Irene asked while looking at Katsumi. How do you know my name? Katsumi asked Irene. I was there, Irene said in a whisper. Say that again. Katsumi said, narrowing her eyes. I was there when Hagoromo called you 10, Irene said, closing her mouth when she said the number. 10? I thought there were 9 of you from the 10 tails, Yodo asked. Let's save that for later, Irene told Yodo, not wanting them to know about the 10th being she was asking about. How could you know when he made sure no one was watching him as he named us? Son Goku asked Irene. I was spying on him. Okay, Irene told Goku. If you knew why you didn't help us back then, Shukaku said in a mad voice. Because I was young and scared when you were made. He forbade me to raise and train you guys because he said that you would be fine since he made sure that people wouldn't abuse chakra and because of a so-called prophecy. He even threatened me to even interact with you that he almost used his human path on me. Indra was right. Ninshu is a lost cause. However, I ran and asked a few members if they want to leave for a new leaf, especially when he threatened her and almost killed her with the Rinnegan. He sounded just like Hiruzen in every way, Naruto said, hating the tailed beasts more than ever. They had someone who would love and care for them, but they were taken away because of a stupid prophecy, choosing the people over his own family. That is just blatant favoritism. I swear that if I see him, I will make Hagoromo pay for everything he did, Naruto said with conviction in his voice. What made that happen? Satsuki asked to make sure she saw the pattern. Their chakra chooses their champions every time. Most of them never even meet or die much earlier, like 10 times earlier, except for 2 people, Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha, who almost made peace until something happened. The trigger is when the transmigrant of Indra realizes that people like Asura's transmigrant on something like surpassing Indra's. Irene said as Katsumi thought of something. Katsumi said, "It's no wonder I've never felt Madara's hatred before, since it started after he was kicked out of the village." Who told you that? Asked Gaia. Black Zetsu did when he was editing the stone tablet, Irene said. You mean the tablet that my clan kept as an heirloom? That he changed it so that someone could free Kaguya. If he wanted that, why didn't he write that she was innocent? Satsuki asked. Inside Naruto, Kaguya was really upset that Hagoromo would do that to his own creations. He had the time to help Indra, but his kindness made him miss the fact that her only son was telling her the truth about herself. Hagoromo told Indra that she was evil and that she only wanted to steal chakra. Sure, what she did was bad, but at least she showed mercy to those who deserved it. She was also alone when her clan found her to kill her for betraying them, even though it was Ishiki who betrayed her first. Even when their chakra was waiting for their champions to end their fight so they could prove who was better. Kaguya smiled when she saw that Satsuki was defending her. Even though she hurt them back then, neither Satsuki nor Naruto have bad feelings toward Kaguya because she helped them become their true selves when no one else did because she accepted them for who they are. On another cell, there was a fair-skinned woman with long, straight black hair. Her bangs hung on either side of her face to roughly frame her cheeks, and she had bandages on her face where her eyes should be. She was in a medical gown. This is Mikoto Uchiha, who is also known as the demonic flame princess of the Sharingan for being the most powerful Uchiha since Madara. She is blind now because Danzo took her eyes. When Satsuki saw her, she yelped. "Mom," Satsuki said to her. "Who's there?" she asked as Satsuki hugged her and sobbed. "My daughter," Mikoto said with happiness to see her daughter again. Satsuki, asked another woman, who had long brown hair with bangs that framed her face. She had onyx eyes and a mole under her right eye, and she was wearing a medical gown. This is Izumi Uchiha, the ex-girlfriend of Itachi Uchiha and a half Uchiha. She was taken by Root while Danzo used one of his drones to trick Itachi into killing his clan. She woke up her Sharingan when Katsumi killed her father by accident, and she got the Mangekyo when she saw her real daughter, whom she named Sarada and who is now 4 years old. "Izumi, you're alive." "How?" she asked her. "Danzo's drones took me while I was on a mission in Nekaba," she said as Satsuki saw the baby and asked to carry her, but she started crying when Sarada saw Satsuki. "She reminds me of you when you were a baby and I wanted to carry you," Izumi said when Satsuki saw Sarada with one Tomo Sharingan eye. "I'll ask you about that later," Satsuki said. "We have to get out of here," Satsuki told them. "We can't yet," Mikoto replied. "Why not, Mom?" Satsuki said. "Because Danzo has my eternal Sharingan eyes," Mikoto answered as Satsuki gasped. "Naruto, we have a problem," Satsuki thought to herself through telepathy. "What's the problem?" Naruto thought. Satsuki thought to his wood clones. "I found my mother and Izumi, but Danzo has my mother's eyes on his right arm, and they are the pure eternal version. In the meantime, the wood clones, as Danzo, his fuck buddies, and the rest of his drones looked at a small but iconic object. "I don't know. It looks like a fat yellow rat," Danzo said, pointing at Pikachu. Pikachu didn't like that answer, calling her a fat rat. She starts to move forward. Pikachu, Danzo and his butt buddies ran away from the attack, but his other men didn't. Katsumi said with a wicked smile, "Poor scum, they were fried to a crisp." "That rat can shoot lightning," said Danzo. Fuyamanaka told his leader, "My lord, we need to leave before that rat shoots at us again," as Torun made a hand sign and the ground shot up to block that tunnel. The wood clones are doing this so they can take Danzo's right arm and seal it for the originals to use later. As planned, Naruto called more of his Pokemon, especially Dragon, Dark, Steel, Rock, and Fire types, to help them fight Fuyamanaka and Torun Aburaim as they broke down the chakra-made earth wall. Danzo tried to use Shisui's power, but Scrafty hit him in the nuts with an iron head. The perfect Jinjutsu, and it doesn't hurt this lizard, Danzo asked in surprise. After Danzo showed his arm full of Sharingan and Hashirama's cells, Celebi cut it off while Dialga froze time so that Celebi could cut it carefully without hurting it. and replace it with a fake. As Dialga gave the signal to Scrafty, who used Focus Blast to send Danzo into a concrete wall, while nearly knocking him out. Danzo wanted to use his reverse force seal to lead them to his body, but he couldn't because black and green chains were holding his body and limiting his chakra. Danzo told the group, "My men were right, even though Naruto, Satsuki, and Katsumi were staring at him." Danzo said, "I think this group is called Black Sun." Naruto asked in a sarcastic tone, "How did you hear about us?" "One of my informants told me that Suna was destroyed, but all but one of them died before they could get the message to me," Danzo said. "Sorry, not sorry about your men who were easy to replace," Naruto said with a smile. Danzo told Naruto, "Join me so we can conquer the elemental nations in this world together," as he tightened the chains even more. "I am not anyone's attack dog, and I will never follow this corrupted village," Naruto said, which got to Danzo's nerves. Danzo said, "Everything I've done is for the greater good of Konoha." Katsumi said, making Danzo angry, "At least we don't need an illusion of false promises like you do, and we would never join a village re-established by the so-called will of fire of Tobirama Senju." "Take that back, you skank. He was a hero. He was the father I never had. But he chose that idiot Hiruzen to lead the village when it should have been me," Danzo said to defend Tobirama. Naruto thought to himself, "Damn, someone has been up Tobirama's backside. They probably smelled his seat to get rid of the smell. Oh, he was a hero. He was a warmonger. He was worse than Madara Uchiha. I know because I was there." Katsumi yelled. He said, "Was there. You're the Nine Tails," as he had done every time Naruto let him go. "Another one. It must be my lucky day. Now listen to me, Nine Tails," he said, trying to control her with Shisui's Sharingan but failing because Katsumi was yawning. Danzo asked, "Why isn't this eye working at all?" As red chains came out of Karin and briefly burned Danzo, Naruto ripped Shisui's eye out of its socket as Danzo screamed, "Ah, UBTCH, on Uzumaki." "But how? I made sure they were all dead, and the only Uzumakis I have here are females in the nest," Danzo said. His right eye was hollow, so he couldn't see out of it. When Danzo died, everyone laughed. Satsuki said, "We're already close to the nest," which shocked Danzo. He asked, "Who are you?" Naruto, Satsuki, and Katsumi all yelled, "We are the Black Sun," as Naruto lightly tapped Danzo's forehead. From the outside, it looked like a light tap, but on the inside, it was slowly scrambling Danzo's brain as that light tap read all of Danzo's memories from the time he was born until now, while leaving Danzo brain dead. "Just so you know, we're just wood clones. Ciao," Naruto said as the wood clone Yodo sealed Danzo's mutated arm in a scroll for the originals, and the wood clone Gaia sealed Danzo's body for later use. The rest of the wood clones then scattered, while the real ones were going on. They were getting close to a door that was very well guarded when someone surprised Naruto as he was using his new and improved Kusanagi sword, which can even cut through truth-seeking orbs. He saw the woman with long purple hair and a cat-like mask made of porcelain. She has a sword in her hands. "Fuck, this woman is fast. How the hell does she know the Uzumaki sword style?" Naruto said as the attacker pulled out a second sword and cut his shirt. "What the hell is she, a dual wielder?" Naruto said as he defended himself with his sword. "Naruto, destroy her swords in some way." She put down her broken swords, pulled out a kunai, and charged straight ahead. Naruto grabbed her right arm. When she missed her target, he turned her over on her back and did an arm lock with his legs, bending her wrist until it broke and making her scream in pain. Naruto broke the arm lock with his left foot and gave her a mule kick to the face, which broke her mask and showed her to be Yugao Yuzuki. Yugao rolled onto her side and looked up at her attacker. Naruto knew who she was as soon as he saw her sad face. "Yugao, what happened to you?" he asked as he looked at her broken right wrist. As she charged again, this time with a side kick, Naruto caught the kick and used her movement and speed to slam her knee into the ground, breaking it. Naruto said, "Yugao, stay down and let me help you." She said, "Must protect Root. One live Root," like a recorder as she ran at Naruto while Satsuki hit Yugao from behind. Satsuki asked, "What are you doing to Yugao, Naruto?" "Stocky, there's something wrong with her," he said as he opened her mouth to show a seal on her tongue. Naruto said, "Oh, hell," as he bit his tongue to show his blood and used it to write on her tongue. He yelled, "Uzumaki style, Dark Seal Destroyer," as the technique broke the seal on Yugao's tongue. He asked Yugao, "Can you hear me?" as she suddenly hugged him. She said, "Thank you, thank you." When Naruto broke the seal on her tongue, Naruto asked Yugao, "I have a question for you. How did Danzo catch you and make you his slave?" "Well, that's how it all began," she said. Flashback. As Yugao became a student of the Kushina Uzumaki, also known as the Red Hot Habanero, He was called an apprentice. She learned Uzumaki-style kenjutsu from her and took it all in like a sponge. She even learned how to spot people's patterns. As the years went by, she trained to join the ANBU like her father did, since they both worked for the Hokage. Everything changed when someone let the nine tails out of Kushina's cage. Kushina's movements have gotten slower and sloppier lately, and she has stopped paying attention to Naruto in favor of Arashi and Menma. So, she swore to protect Naruto directly from the shadows because she knew that having the soul of the nine tails didn't make him the beast itself. That made her suspicious, because it was against the Uzumaki clan's creed to ignore each other. It was in their DNA. Until one time, when she was being nosy, she saw Kushina acting like a robot while Minato went on and on about a prophecy. A root nin knocked her out, but Danzo saw her potential and turned her into a root nin and put a seal on her tongue to keep her from talking. Her job is to spy on Naruto Uzumaki and get samples of him so that he can control the powerful Uzumaki. End of flashbacks. She said as she fell asleep, "That's how I got here. Behind the door is the real Kushina. Can someone carry me?" He said, "She'll be fine now that she's alive." When Naruto opened the door, he saw someone who, even though they were raised by a clone of her, made him feel old feelings again. They see a woman with long red hair and a table bound with chakra chains in an eagle position. She is covered in seals that make her blind and deaf because she was swearing so much that Root Nin got sick of it and put seals on her to stop her. Naruto now has to break the seals and chains to free her. When she heard who it was, Naruto asked her, "Mom, Sachai?" Kushina asked him as they both sobbed and hugged each other. Irene and Katsumi smiled at the touching moment. Kushina asked her mother and sisters, "Are you here too, Natalia, Wendy, Urza, and Akasha?" Katsumi watched the reunion and the emotions, and she was jealous of how loyal the Uzumaki were to each other. As Kushina saw her, Kushina asked Katsumi, whose eyes were moving as Haku and Karin healed her, "Who are you?" Karin told Kushina, "Calm down, your eyes need a little time to heal." Ratchnara said, "But first, we have to get rid of the copies of you, Kushina," as Kushina's hair began to float like nine tails. Kushina asked in a devilish voice, "What did you say?" She answered, "That Danzo made copies of you that can carry babies and other things." She asked once more, "What else?" Naruto said, "Jiraiya things," as Kushina did one thing to calm Jiraiya down. She killed all of her clones mercilessly while Black Sun watched and Mikoto helped her with her perfect mini Susanoo armor. Mikoto had used it before, so she didn't need her eyes to turn it on. And it was like Madara's, but sky blue and more feminine. Naruto said, "That is so hot." "Hey, wait a minute, where is Delta?" Since Delta wasn't there, with Delta's help, she felt like she knew the person in stasis. Like Shukaku or Son Goku, she saw a woman who was naked and had tubes attached to her. A woman with straight brown hair cut into a chin-length bob that frames her face. On either side of her cheeks, she has a purple square mark. She asked herself, "Who is this?" When she saw medical notes about her, she gasped as she read, "Rin Nohara of Konoha, Chunin rank and jinchuriki of 3 tails. Baby number 67,897 is a girl who was born 7 months ago. She has Uchiha and Uzumaki DNA from subjects and B. The eggs were cut in half, and Naruto Uzumaki's sperm was taken when he was 7 years old. A sample was taken at Namikaze by a root nin codenamed Jaguar. Oh shit, Naruto was slept with," she said as she is trying to communicate with him. Using Naruto. "Naruto, do you hear me?" She spoke up. "I'm pretty busy around here. What would you like?" He spoke to her. "Do you remember anything from when you were 7 years old?" She did. "I don't recall." "Why?" He said. She said, "I think an ANBU got some of your sperm." "Say what?" He yelled, and his eyes flashed through the shadows to where she was. Delta showed him the file, not knowing if the ANBU was a boy or a girl. Luckily, it was a girl, and it was Yugao. Satsuki was furious because Yugao gave Naruto a handy before her, while Naruto was looking at Katsumi. "Do you remember this, Katsumi?" he asked his girlfriend. She told him, "I didn't care back then because I was still mad when I was sealed again, and it also blocked my senses. Maybe Kaguya knows about it." But she was most powerful when there was a full moon. Delta gave Rin an electric shock to wake her up. And Naruto said, "Look, her eyes are now red with red pupils." "Did she just look like that?" Samui asked. "Yes, Isabu is still inside of her," Delta said. Rin asked, "Where am I?" as her eyes turned brown. Satsuki asked, "You're at Root HQ. What was the last thing you remember?" "Well, I was in Kiri when an old man with white hair that covered his right eye sealed me as a tailed beast and put a cursed seal in my heart. As I ran away, some white people with green hair turned into Kirinin, and as I ran away, I saw Kakashi using the Chidori. Since the cursed seal doesn't let me kill myself, and it would have let Isabu loose in Konoha, I sacrificed myself for Konoha, and we somehow Kimiko was angry because her clan died because someone used the Sharingan on them to kill Kiri, and then got away with it because he was in love with a girl. So that guy with the one-eye mask wasn't Madara at all. Then who was it? She asked. It wasn't Madara, it was Obito Uchiha. Naruto said, which Satsuki nodded. Kushina asked. Crybaby Obito was the one who let out 9 tails that night. He was taught by none other than Madara Uchiha, who survived by using a delayed Izanagi after biting Hashirama's arm to take his flesh to learn wood style, and the basic Rinnegan after 50 years nearing the end of his natural life. He kidnapped you after he used his Sharingan to control Aisabu and sealed him into you with a cursed seal. He even used Kakashi as a way to wake up Obito's Mangekyo. Rin asked her, how did you know? Because I had his memories, just like he did. Because I had Indra's chakra, Satsuki said with shame. Even though she wasn't Madara and didn't do what he did when Black Zetsu convinced him. Not that they blame Black Zetsu for what he did, since it was Tabarama who made Madara go crazy. And Black Zetsu just wants to free his mother Kaguya like they do. Ada asked, then where would we go? We're almost all missing nins, and Shangri-La might be a safe place for them. But some of them would turn on each other for their bounties. Irene said, I know just a place where you can all be safe from harm. They all asked, which is? Irene said, our motherland is Uzashigakure. Kushina jumped back as Irene pulled her staff out of a seal on her cleavage and cast a teleportation spell to take them all to Uzashigakure. Uzashigakure. Irene used her magic to teleport Black Sun and the others to Uzashigakure. What they saw there was horrifying. Dead shinobi, civilians, children, and even pregnant women were everywhere. Katsumi and Satsuki both threw up when they saw all the dead bodies, because this was worse than the massacre of her clan. Based on how much blood the ground took up, I'd say it lasted about 5 months, Toph said, which shocked Satsuki. The Uzumaki gave their all for 5 months straight, while Itachi killed most of my clan's members by surprise with Obito in one night. Delta was shocked and asked, why would they do this? Even if they have a bad temper and like to be mean. This is just wrong. Iwa, Azula said. Kumo Samui said. Taki, Fu said. Suna, Gaia said. Hyuga, Satsuki, Mizu, Yuno said. Kushina was shocked to see that she was wearing a Konoha headband. As the others saw more from other villages and Kuro asked Goku a question. Kushina said, Konoha. Irene said, okay, people, let's go to my palace since it's the only place around here that's mostly still standing. When they got to the huge but simple palace, she smeared her blood on an invisible barrier, and it recognized her. Welcome back, Lady Irene, said a voice, which was an AI named Yuzi that sounded like Maria Hill from the Avengers. Thanks, Yuzi, she told her AI as they entered a grand palace where the technology was much more advanced than in the land of snow and sky. Wow, this is way more amazing than anything Gaijin has done, said Ada. It has almost everything, including room for 10 tails and tree form, said Shukaku, who quickly grew to his full size to stretch his sandy limbs as Son Goku and Chomai joined him. Yujiro, you should join them and ask Naruto to free me from the seal so you can ravage him without holding you back. Manatabi told Yujiro as she blushed. Irene flirted with Naruto until Kushina took him away. Well, I was alone here when Yuzi attacked, and I want some company, so you can all live here with me. There's plenty of room, and if you want more women to join, I don't mind, she said. Kushina said with a blush, Mom, calm down. He's only a teenager. Natalia teased her sister, Kushina, by saying, oh, stop being a prude, sister, so you can have him all to yourself. Kushina glared at Natalia. How can you all be calm about it? She asked. Naruto said, you didn't feel the tremors all over the nations. Those were some strong seals. She asked Ratchnara, who was whispering to her, what tremors? Kushina's face turned red like a certain fruit whose name I won't say if I want to stay alive, and 2 Hyugas sneezed. Goku, do you remember when you said you were here? What did you mean? Asked Kuro. He said with shame, because we were there. What? Asked Kuro. Because Kuro, Matatabi, Aisabu, Kokuo, Seiken, Chomai, Juki, and I were there when we were inside our past jinchurikis, said Goku. I thought that Uzashigakure was destroyed by Kumo, Iwa and Kiri. Gaia said since her father told her that story to her siblings before Yashimaru's suicide. Suddenly Irene spoke. Irene said, that's not the whole story. Not just those 3 villages attacked us, but all of them. Even the smaller ones and even Konoha, because they were afraid of our sealing arts. Everyone, including Shukaku and Katsumi, was stunned. What do you mean all of them, Grandma? Naruto asked as Irene pinched his cheek. Don't call me that again because it makes me sound old. First, let me tell you a story about my father, Asura Otsutsuki, she said as Satsuki did a spittle take through water jutsu. What? Yelled Satsuki when she heard that Naruto's grandmother is the daughter of the Senju clan's founder, Asura Otsutsuki. She said as Katsumi hold her. It all started when my father became the heir of Ninshu after grandfather Hagoromo selected him despite Uncle Indra had good reasons to lead since father was too all-forgiving for his health and never saw the hidden emotions of people wielding chakra. It got worse when Indra started acting strange and pulled away from me. I asked him what was wrong, and he told me that Hagoromo made a big mistake by giving chakra to people, but they told him he was crazy. Before he left he told me a few words: gather people who you can actually trust and leave elsewhere for your own good, Irene. His last words were, I have to kill my brother before it's too late as my father has poisoned his mind with everlasting peace through only love bullshit speech. Irene explained as Satsuki stared at her. Is that what Black Zetsu said to Indra, telling him the truth about Hagoromo sharing chakra with humans and what it means? She had a thought in her head. For three things: fear of our sealing arts and vitality, greed and Katsumi. Irene said, me. Katsumi wiped her mouth and asked, yes you, since you were the only tailed beast that was a sensor type of the highest caliber, emotions sensing, which gave you an advantage over the others, since you are half of the 10 tails and can beat the first 7 just with your fox form. Irene told the others. You're the 9 tails. Kushina pointed at her. Well, what? What do you plan to do to me? It won't work since they got rid of that weakness and I now have these. Katsumi said to her as she showed her chakra chains and created trees form the ground. Why aren't you going crazy like Mito told you to do before she locked you up? Kushina said this as Irene did a face palm. Since when has a tailed beast assaulted people before? Now answer that. Katsumi said as Kushina tried to think. She tried to answer the question, but said, I don't know. Exactly, you don't know because we've never done it on our own free will. I can't believe you fell for the will of fire's Senju nonsense, Katsumi told her, and now she isn't sure what to think. Kushina said, the village is like my family to me, which made Naruto laugh hysterically. Good one, Kushina. That the town is like a big family. A family of people who cheat. Naruto told her that Kumo had tried to take her by force. What's this? She did. As she read it, he said, this is one of the many secrets that Danzo kept on his office en route. She said this as Naruto gave something to Yujiro. It can't be that Kumo wasn't trying to kidnap me because of my chakra chains. It must have been Root Nin disguised as Kumo Nin to keep me loyal to Konoha so I wouldn't know the truth about Uzu's fall. Did this picture show 2 babies? Yujiro asked Naruto until Kushina saw it. I recognize the baby. When Minato showed the photo he kept as a keepsake when he was an orphan, that was him. Weird, I have the same background as the photo with that baby next to me. Yujiro said as she showed her photo before they sealed Matatabi on her. They gasped as they put it together. You're my aunt, and he's your brother, right? Naruto said. Then what is my last name if not Nai? She asked because Naruto had read the message on the side of the photo of Minato and stopped. Minato Senju. I was thinking it was Namikaze. Oh god, now everything makes sense. Which makes you part Senju, Naruto Satsuki said. It's impossible. I have more chakra than the whole village, and that's not even counting the fact that I used to have Katsumi's soul and Asura's chakra. Jiraiya and Hiruzen both knew this. He said angrily, wait a minute. I know Naruto had the chakra of an Asura inside of him. But how come I didn't sense it all before? Katsumi said, which is offensive for sensors not to sense an old and familiar chakra. I can explain that. When father beat Uncle swore to win even after he died, which is why he ran away. Since their chakra are difficult to detect because they mixed with their chosen champions at birth to avoid suspicion as they lack emotion as they have just a one-track mind like a machine that is programmed for its purpose of Uncle craving for power even after killing the other when it really is to make Asura's champion see reason while dads make his champions gullible and all forgiving even if you rape or abuse them. Irene said with disgust of the last part as Naruto gritted his teeth while Satsuki was saddened while Yujiro was going to say something. Yujiro held Naruto's hands as she blushed and said, I'm your aunt, but I like you, Naruto, because you had the decency to think of me as a person and not just as someone holding a tailed beast. Now that we know you're my aunt, it doesn't matter if we're related or not, because when I free Matatabi from you, I'll change you into a pure-blooded Otsutsuki. Just like Uzumaki, your kids won't be born with any problems, he told her, who was again red as a beet. Aside from what you two do, you should go back to Kumo so that they have more reasons to get rid of you and seal Matatabi on your own sister so that they can have a more loyal jinchuriki who won't question the higher-ups while they wait for one slip-up to start the cycle. As Otsutsuki, we should kill anyone who stands in our way, and be the only ones with the chakra to control without opposition. Do you want to play? Naruto said with his eyes glowing, meaning that he was serious, as the area became briefly cold as Sarada was going to cry and stopped as he was calming her down. What do I do, Matatabi? Yujiro had asked her. Is up to you, Yujiro, as he brings good points that surpasses the bad ones, as he said that if you join him he will make you immortal and kill those who have wronged and ridiculed you for having me without we having a saying. And don't forget that Konoha sold you to Kuma before you had me, and his father, who is your brother, neglected him. And Uzumaki, who are one of the nicest people that me and siblings have ever met, that we killed against our wills, and our creator threatened the first person who wanted to shower us with love and attention that we craved for instead of just existing, to avoid reviving our grandmother Kaguya and a giant tree abomination with the purpose of destroy life for a measly fruit. Yujiro, give it some thought. Yujiro was smiling as Matatabi told her. Yujiro said, you know what? Count me in on Naruto. Samui agreed with her sister, saying, me too, since this will be so cool, as Katsumi yelled something. Now I remember who Indra was. Katsumi interrupted. You do? Irene asked. Don't worry about the fact that I ate him, Katsumi said straight out. You ate him, Satsuki said, shaking her. I wouldn't know because Hagoromo never let us meet them, so I couldn't tell who he was just by looking at his chakra. He tried to use his Sharingan on me to make me his jinchuriki against my will, like the other 3 times, so I ate him. My siblings and I had to go our separate ways after that to avoid getting caught by humans until you know who, Katsumi said. Katsumi, I'm sorry for what happened. Satsuki trying to apologize her. Don't worry, Satsuki, you are not Indra, you only had his chakra until Kaguya stopped it. Katsumi said as she kissed Satsuki. There is one more thing I want to know about. He turned to Rin. Since Sarada is my daughter with Izumi, he said, and Izumi nodded while Sarada hugged Naruto as he lifted Sarada. Then who is my baby with you? Naruto asked while Rin showed him a picture of a little girl with long red hair and bright purple eyes. You got to be kidding me, Naruto said as his ear turned into a train whistle. Satsuki and Katsumi saw the picture and both passed out when they saw a picture of Narumi. Izumi said to Sarada, look, you now have a sister, and showed her a picture of Narumi. She's my other granddaughter. Kawaii. Kushina said this as she looked at the picture and hugged Sarada. Sarada was blushing, and everyone, even those who had passed out, was sweating.
I will continue this series in next part. Till then, we weeb offline.